would be technically the final round for Bravo, but it is the second last round of the Alpha tier, as they've got 2 races tonight, and we have to say a massive well done to LNR Psycho Pace. So Logistic Nightmare Racing once again taking the first comment out on YouTube, saying let's go, love the track, Paul Ricard. Yes, the giant pot got with a bit of fun to it. Glad to be back here, ladies and gentlemen, and we got our Alpha tier out. Now this is the first of 2 races that they're going to be doing. They're going to be doing Paul Ricard, then we're going to be moving over to Bravo tier to go race, and then back to Alpha tier to race on Nürburgring. So Bravo is racing on Nürburgring for their final round, and Alpha is doing Paul Ricard and is doing the Nürburgring. So it is going to be something interesting to watch. We're going to take a jump into the qualifying server and just see how it's going. Alright, commentary's a bit tad too soft. Okay, let's see if we can fix that. Is this sounding a little bit better for you? Let me know if this sounds a little bit better. LNR Psycho taking a look. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to move over into it. We've got Bianca coming in. Let's go for racing from Facebook. So glad to see you guys coming and joining us here in the commentary book. Okay, game sounds a bit overwhelming. Alright, so we'll handle that when we get in. Alright, fantastic. Glad to see it. And as you can see, beautiful shot of Paul Ricard as we are creeping 799 Apple. As you know, this is PlayStation, so we can working off their names. But in any case, exciting time right here as we head to Paul Ricard. And just to give you a heads up, it is a 4-way battle for the podium to take the championship of the Alpha tier. So this is extremely exciting. So we've got Jacques in first place in the championship. Second is Eleanor Buxton, which is Sean. So Logistic Nightmare Racing putting in the support there for their fellow driver. Then we got Ross, followed by Paul, and finally we have got Dylan lying in 5th place. Now this is going to be exciting times to see who's going to get the actual win for the championship, who's going to make or break a championship tonight. We're going to see it back-to-back rounds for our Alpha tier, and we're looking forward to it. So far Jacques putting in the best qualifying time in the Bentley, doing a 156.4. So Jacques really pushing the car, Project Wetcats Racing, to try and get further up through the field. He wants to try and bring as many points home as possible through tonight, and that's where the difficulty comes in. Right behind him though, yes, we got old V-Dub, and if memory corrects me, that is Marshall, who's going to be having a lot of fun as well on the grid. Now, as you know, Paul Ricard, very interesting circuit, very technical circuit, but it has got that monstrously long straight. So it's all about setting your car up, getting enough pace, and going down. Best thing is to catch into a draft of another vehicle and pull yourself along. So you're going to see how they're going to do. Now this is where it gets pretty exciting with the championship literally hanging in the balance for every single one of these drivers to be able to get out there. So let's see how they're going to do when we get into it. So I'm just opening up my cheat sheet to see who is and where. Alright, so got my cheat sheets up. So V-Dub, that is Gerard in the Porsche. He's having a lot of fun. He's got Jakes behind him. Now Jakes, very fast driver, has got quite a bit on the line. He's lying in 8th place in the championship, but he's one of the faster drivers of the Green Bundles. But he is chasing down Dylan, so he's got to keep that consistency up. Then we have got Marshall, followed by Greg, then Dylan lying in 6th place. Now Dylan was busy telling me something interesting. He has not been on the circuit since the last time they tried getting on the server failed, and I mean that's quite some time ago, with the Bravo tier was racing, and unfortunately the Alpha tier was not able to make it. So he's been off the circuit for a while, still trying to get to grips with it, but no one else is slowing down for him. As we got a couple of new drivers coming in and joining us, which is always fantastic to have. And this is Alexander, who's in a Ferrari looking to make an impact right here at SARCO. We're glad to have the new drivers, we're glad to have people joining in, and also a big welcome back to our our drivers that have been with us all season, and also the teams that have been with us all season. So we have Project Wetcats Racing, Logistical Nightmare Racing. I know that Psycho Pace is busy cheering on. So Psycho, do you think the Logistical Nightmare Racing of Sean Eleanor Blixham is going to be able to climb up through the ladder? He's got a lot of work to do that to try and get there. Actually, I don't quite see him, so I don't think he's actually racing with us for this this race, so he might be missing this one out. And he was one of the contenders, so unfortunately it looks like he's going to take a massive impact. But thank you for joining us though. Alright, so there's a couple of guys on the pits. We've got 1 minute and 7 seconds of qualifying left of the race, so it's going to be pretty interesting to see how they all line up. Peter Heidemann lacking guys to races for Alpha tier. Good luck, boys. That is very, very true. They're going to need a lot of help at this point because it's back-to-back races. It's going to be tricky, and we're going to have to see how they handle it. So, as we get into it. And we're going to see some very interesting action as we 23 seconds to go. Jacques still leading out the grid, followed by Ferrell, who's only 0.171 seconds, and not going to be an easy task for him at this rate. And Dylan still trying to make up a bit of ground. Right in 3rd place, so surprise, surprise, is Ryan. Sergeant Ryan taking up 3rd place. Jake's in 4th. Marshall in 5th. Greg in 6th. Dylan still trying to give it everything he's got. He's got just a couple of corners to go. He's lying in 7th place. We've got Alexander in 8th. Creeping Apple, unfortunately I don't have your name, but you've been officially out in 9th place. So definitely some hard work to come, but we've also got 2 drivers at the back. So we're going to see how they take on. So what we're going to do is we're going to exit out of the server because it's going to crash, and I really don't want you guys to have... There we go. PlayStation doing what it does best. Unfortunately, Kunos still tinkering and doing a bit of work here. So Kunos, if you would like a hand, please give us a shout at SARCO. We're more than happy to have you back. Also, Peter Heidemann, welcome back to Jake's. Yes, big welcome back. He's been out for a little bit, and he's going to have some fun with us in the Bravo tier. So a bit of a set of Corsa, competizione, and really looking forward to some fun. Hopefully we get some spectators coming. We'll get some someone to help join in the commentary box from the Bravo tier. So if the Bravo tier guys, are you watching? Come and join in the commentary box. I'd love to have a chat to you guys. And we're also going to get some one-on-one time with the winners of this race, where Dylan's going to be jumping back onto the mic for the Bravo race, and then straight after he's got the Alpha tier going out for the final time. This is our last Thursday of racing, ladies and gentlemen, for this year. I mean, I don't know about you guys. Guys, Facebook, YouTube, it's coming to the end of the season. Obviously, it's one of the sad parts for me. So we're going to have to see what the guys are going to be able to do. Honestly, it's a very sad time for me because it means that it's coming to an end. What do you guys think out there? I want to hear you guys on Facebook and YouTube land. Also, if you want to support our channels, please like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube, and hit that bell notification icon. We'd love to have you guys here more. And also, if you're interested in joining us here at SARCO, we are on PlayStation 4, and we have ACC and Patrikios. We've also got our Porsche Euro Cup, which is starting on Monday, well, is finishing up on Monday, so we'd love to have you guys here joining us as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we're jumping in, they're doing their pace lap. They're going to be getting ready to go around and kick off their race. And as you can see, all circling around, bit of hard work here, guys, all showing a bit of support. But all eyes are going to be on Jacques, who's currently leading out right behind him. So it looks like they are ready. And are racing as hard as they can at this point. 39 minutes to go. Jacques leading out. Right behind him, though, is Heron in second place. He is currently sixth in the championship, looking to make an impact. 0.8 seconds behind. Then we have got Jakes chasing down third, but right behind him is Ryan, who's caught into a toe. So Ryan is now chasing down Jakes as much as possible, getting into that toe. This is where it gets tricky. So Ryan can either try and make a pass, but it looks like right behind Dylan, and that's Marshall who does take a look on the inside. Dylan having to go very, very defensive with the green bumper to try and hold him at bay. And Sarge as well tries going on the outside of Ryan and also finding it very, very difficult to do so. So definitely some great racing going on. Paul, unfortunately, coming to a stop. Looks like he's taken a bit of damage and has got a problem. So not a happy camper there. Marshall still chasing as hard as he can, looking to try and make his way past Dylan. But let's head back up to the front of the grid, and you can see Sarge trying to put on the pressure. Dylan right behind him. So Ryan is in a bit of a sticky situation at the moment, as he has to try and get past these two incredible drivers as they battle their way around. But one person that is pulling away is Jacques, just keeping it clean. Remember, they've got one lap. They've got one mandatory pit stop they have to go in. Don't have to change tyres, don't have to put in fuel, but you just have to get your car on the jacks, up, down, and back out once again. He's got Heron right behind him, who is pushing as hard as he can. He wants to try and move up the position. Jake's going very, very defensive, trying to hold back Ryan as much as possible. But Ryan is definitely on the attack, ladies and gentlemen, really showing what that Merc can do. Lovely to see it all happening right here at SARCO. Dylan losing a bit of ground. He's lying 1.2 seconds behind, but he has got Marshall chasing him down the Lamborghini. So Lambo has got a little bit more straight line power versus the Porsche, but has a lot of way to go. As we go a little bit back, Greg pulled in the pit, so he's done his mandatory stop. Paul is in the pits. He's looks like he might be doing a bit of repair, or he's out the car, but definitely not going to be a happy camper there. So Greg opting for an early pit stop and now trying to push his way up through the field. Ventra's trying to make his way around the Merc. He's lying in ninth place. Creeping Apple having to go a little bit defensive. You can see, getting some airtime there, getting a little bit sideways. Bit of a wobble, not what you want to do. And that's one of the problems of the circuit. The curbs are like giant force rolls. They will just go and eat you alive. Alexander looking to go and try and make an impact as well. Catches right up to Marshall. So Alexander, tired of hanging around, he sees that Marshall straight ahead of him and is now on the attack. So Dylan's not only trying to keep Marshall at bay, he has got to deal with Alexander. So lovely to see Alex coming in and is putting everything he's got. Alex is currently lying in 13th position in the championship, so he's really pushing hard. He wants to make an impact right here at SARCO for the second last round for the Alpha tier. They've got their last race later tonight, which they are really looking forward to. The chats have been absolutely brilliant between them, and especially driving these cars that are actually going to be racing this weekend at Kyle Army. So kind of a big smile on the face for a lot of these guys. Are getting to not only drive the cars, but they're going to be watching live streams of these cars in action. But take a look, Jake's under some serious pressure. Ryan really pushing hard, gets into the toe. Ryan looking on the inside, looks to outbrake him. Trying to go side by side, not going to work. Best try hang in the toe. The Bentley has got a lot of power to it. Ryan looking to fight back though. Who's going to be early on the brakes? Who's going to try and carry as much speed? Ryan's going to have to really work hard here. But he looks like he's going to back out and try and fight another day. He's looking to get a bit more drive. Jakes goes out a bit wide, and Ryan tries to capitalize on it as quick as possible. So you can see how hard he's pushing. He wants that fourth place away from, third place away from Jakes. Jakes having to go very defensive, trying to go a little bit wide, try and push Ryan off him. But Ryan really working hard. You can see those brakes lighting up as they carry on. Right here at Paul Ricard, absolutely brilliant close racing for the second last race later tonight. Bravo's here coming up after this, so lots and lots of racing, early start and tons of excitement as they power their way through it. Gerard losing 2.6 seconds behind Jacques. So Jacques just trying to keep it clean, trying to keep it going for Project Wet Cats Racing, so he's really doing an absolutely bang-up job there. Jake's managing to pull a little bit of a gap against Ryan. He's a little bit later on the race, so Ryan having to work hard. 0.4 seconds behind, so he's got to just try and get into that toe. Further down though, Dylan and Marshall still duking it out with Alexander hanging on to the coattails. He's looking to make a move, but I see we have got our other Red Cat Racing, and that's Ross, who seems to be out. So Major, continuing the challenger for the championship, is out of this race. That's quite unfortunate. As you can see, Alexander does trying to get back into the toe, catching up to Marshall. They're really pushing as hard as they can, ladies and gentlemen. 33 minutes of this race left as they power their way around on one of the longest straights I can say, and absolutely brilliant. Paul Ricard, very technical circuit, knows how to test your car in high speed and also to see how much grip you can hang on to in the more of a tighter bends. So the guys are having to really pull all the stops out right here. As you can see, Marshall trying to get back into the toe. Ryan is about a second away from Jakes. Now starting to catch up. He's really trying to lay in there. He really wants to try and battle for that position. You're going to have to work incredibly hard to do it. As you can see, getting into the toe, trying to pull himself along, utilizing power. Needs to go late on the brakes to try and make it happen. But it's going to be very difficult to do so, as Jakes is not leaving not putting a foot wrong at this point. The track is 5.842 kilometers long, and so far the quickest lap record. It was done by Sebastian Vettel in a Formula 1 doing a 1:32. So these guys are really trying to get as close as they can to it in a GT car. And they are absolutely powering their way on right here at Paul Ricard. And Jake's trying to break that toe as they really do everything they can. 15 corners on the circuit that the guys have got to really try to battle their way around. So the guys are really working hard. You can see Ryan again. time, tries to get a bit of drive out, coming off the back straight, tries lining himself up on the inside, goes a little bit wide onto the marbles, really just trying to fight that car in and pull himself along. Looks at the inside of Jakes, unfortunately not close enough to do anything justice yet, but really trying everything he can. As we head further down, Alexander 0.7 seconds catching after Marshall, so he's trying to catch up to that Lamborghini and his Ferrari, but we jump back to the front of the grid and you can just see how hard Ryan is pushing. Going out very, very wide. Ryan does so as well, very, very late on the race. So the guys are really fighting their way around Paul Ricard to see who can get it. Essentially, they're doing 80 minutes of driving in total tonight. And I mean, that's an incredible amount of driving and lots and lots of mental prep. They haven't got a break in between, but they are still fighting for a championship, so they're going to be practicing during that time. And Ryan looking to go side by side, managing to just sneak in, so Jake's losing out of position. Ryan needs to just try and keep it all together. Jake's trying to fight back, looks to the inside, unfortunately he has the door closed on him, so Jake's now losing out of position. Ryan managing to get ahead and is really doing everything he can to start running away from Jake's as quick as possible. The Green Mamba is now behind Jake's. Ryan, who's really just trying to keep on going. So Ryan doing an absolutely bang-up job at the moment. So the Sarge going in, trying to march away, and unfortunately has got a Benji chasing him down as hard as he can. You can see how hard he's having to push to keep Jakes at bay. Jakes is really giving it everything he's got. So coming back after a bit of a break, and is still showing exactly what he can do right here at Paul Ricard. Absolutely brilliant. How are you guys doing there in the chat? Do you think that Jakes is going to be able to get past Ryan, or is Ryan going to be able to keep up the pace and keep him at bay? Remember, they still have one mandatory pit stop. So I want to see you guys in the chat. Who do you think is going to be able to get in between these two drivers? And do you think on this circuit it's going to be more beneficial to do a later pit stop than an early? That's up to you guys to find out. I want you guys to let me know what you think in the comments as we carry on racing our way around the circuit. Jake's really losing out a bit of time. Ryan's starting to pull a bit of a gap, 2.3 seconds gap at the moment. So the field is opening up just a little bit. Marshall coming in for a pit stop though. Very, very interesting. He's going for an early pit stop after 27 minutes. And he's going to be heading out onto the circuit straight after. So a little bit of work done there, but going for a bit of an early pit stop. He's hoping to try and utilize when everyone gets in, he's going to keep on going. So definitely one thing to keep an eye on is that pit stop. Now it can work, but at the same time can fail. So let's see what he'll be able to do when he gets out. We're on board with Dylan, who is absolutely cruising. Dylan lying 5th in the championship and is trying to push his way to the front. He wants to take that second place podium at the moment. So far, Jacques Racing, our leader right at the top for Project Red Cat Racing, is in first with 213 points. Right behind him is Eleanor Sean, who's Logistical Nightmare Racing, 196 points, followed by Ross, who unfortunately disconnected at 116 points. Then we've got Paul, which is Rainmaster, who's also not here, and he has also lost out. He's on 115 points. Then we've got Dylan and Herod, who are duking it out. Dylan is on 108 points. Herod is on 100 points. So they are incredibly close, fighting for that second place spot. And that is exactly the type of racing championship we love to see. As we head down the field, you can see Jakes is starting to get right onto the back of Ryan. He is trying. He's leaping that Bentley up and down over the curbs, going to unsettle it a little bit there, but he is trying to gain as much pace as possible to get right onto the back of him now. If he can get into the toe on this long back straight, he will be able to pull himself along and right down the tremendous straight of Paul Ricard. He'll be able to get a little bit of pace and hopefully get on the inside, forcing Ryan to go out wide. Now if Ryan goes out wide, remember he's going to be straight onto the marble, so he's going to have to back off quite a bit. But you don't want to be too close on the inside either, as that's going to also mess you up just a little bit as well. So the guys are really hoping to try and battle their way around and keep going right here. So how are you guys in the chat? Are you enjoying what you see here, the great racing? And are you looking forward to the racing coming in next year from these guys? Nicholas Kirsten saying hashtag chasing beavers. That is absolutely fantastic to see. Chasing beavers is Ventress, who's lying in 7th position. There we go. The chasing beaver is absolutely giving it everything he's got. And has been very, very consistent actually in the racing. He's been 15th in the championship at the moment, so it hasn't been the greatest of championships, but is still going. And what have we got here? Alexander teleported to the pits. So what happened? He went up on note. So Alexander went into the pits. He's gone for a little bit of a later pit stop, getting his mandatory stop done and dusted. So he's fallen down the grid, but is hoping to keep on going. So far, Greg, Alexander, and Marshall have done their mandatory pit stops, while the rest of the group have still got to try and catch up. Jake's pushing as hard as he can, still trying to get back onto the Sarge. And you can see Ryan having to go as hard as he can. Bianca, sad that the season has ended, but always excited for the new season and all the new adventures. Absolutely correct. We've got some amazing adventures coming on, and great racing. Lots to come, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell notification on YouTube, and if you're on Facebook, hit the like button. Also, why not come join us at SARCO? We'd love to have you, and we'd love to have all the friendly chats and banter with you guys also. So make sure if you got yourself a PlayStation 4, or Center Corsa, or Project Cars, come join us. We'd love to have you here. Jake's really pushing hard onto the back of Sarge, and he's chasing him down. He's in the toe. Now they've got Alex in front of him, so now they've got to work it around a back marker, plus not lose too much time. So Ryan trying to go on the inside, but Alex is going and on the racing line. He does move over a little bit to allow Ryan through, and Jake's thankfully not losing too much time there, but he can keep into the toe and try and pull himself along as well. So he needs to really keep going here. So Alex is trying everything possible to keep going. You can see Jake's is really pushing. Ryan is trying to go very late on the brakes. He goes very, very wide out the corner, and now having to try and keep it all together, losing a lot of time. Jake's trying to capitalize on it, just too far away. Jake's outbrakes himself and losing some time there. So definitely some hard work going on for these drivers, as every single person is just trying to get everything they got to keep on going. Ryan having to try and keep Jakes at bay, but Jakes losing a position as he enters the pits. That allows Dylan to go and make a ground. So Dylan, his teammate of Green Mumbas, looking to go on the strike after Gerard, who is also in the pits. So Gerard is in the pits and has done his stop, and now he's heading back onto the circuit. So that means Ryan is in 2nd place. Jacques is still going around. Creeping Apple in 6th place, and Ventress of Chasing Beavers is lying in 7th. So only 5 cars left to go in the pits, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to hear from you guys what your strategy would be if you were in these cars, as the guys are all trying to really push themselves out, and Jacques is absolutely running away with the race at this moment. Sarge still chasing down. He has got Dylan trying to go after him, so Dylan is quite a considerable gap behind him. Then we've got Creeping Apple advantageous. So, if we look into who's done the stops, if something goes wrong with Jacques, so far we would have K-Rock in the lead, followed by Jakes, Marshall, Greg, and then Alexander. But if nothing goes wrong and if Jacques can keep on pulling a massive gap, he may be able to get in and out of the pits and not to lose a position to the guys. He might lose a position to this man here. This is Ryan, who is absolutely storming around. Dylan also trying to give him a good go, but he is 7.7 seconds behind, so definitely very, very difficult to try and make it up on the circuit. 22 seconds behind him is Creeping Apple. Unfortunately, I don't have his name to go off, other than he's a Creeping Apple. Creeping 799 Apple. Then we have got the Chasing Beaver, who is trying to keep Herot at bay. So now this is turning into a very interesting battle, as Herot has pulled into the pits. He is a faster driver, but Adventurous, who is not giving up. He wants to maintain his position as much as he can go. So they have reached the halfway mark, ladies and gentlemen, and now it is all eyes to go forward. Creeping Apple pulling into the pits, and that allows it. Also, Ryan's gone into the pits, so Ryan falls into third place. So Ryan doing a fantastic job here, but he has to try and keep up the pace as we're waiting for our timing board just to update itself. But so far, Ryan might have pulled a good strategy here, but Herod managing to get ahead of him, so Herod doesn't have to do a pit as well, so he's able to keep on going. So technically a net pit stop, so net position, Herod is in contention to get first place if he keeps on going like this. He's currently 6th in the championship and is 8 points behind Dylan. Remember, they're fighting for second position, second in the championship right now. So between these two races, second and third in the championship will be made between Dylan and between Herod over here, as they try to work their way through. Absolutely tremendous racing. Dylan's still trying to keep up the pace. He's still going after Jacques, who's really blown away in the competition. So the wet cat is definitely not wet behind the ears here, and is powering his way around. Then we've got Old Ventures, our Chasing Beaver, hashtag Chasing Beavers, as Nicholas Carsten says, and flying in 4th place, still has to do his pit. So he is going to lose a bit of time when he heads into the pit lane, as he decides to 17 minutes and 55 seconds, he's into the pits to make his pit stop. So there will be only 2 cars on the circuit that's still near pit, Jacques and Dylan, which you can be sure that Herod is going to push as hard as he can to try and make up that time. He wants to get as close as he can to them and really power his way through. Ryan doing everything he can. He's trying to put a bit of pressure on. He wants to move up to James. They were previously battling with each other. He wants to go and finish the battle and prove that the Mercedes is stronger than the Bentley. Jakes came on the scene, has arrived and drive after being out for some time, and has really turned some heads right here. And it now has Ryan chasing him down. As they power their way through. Oh, and it looks like the Chasing Beaver Ventures stop-go penalty, 30 seconds. That is for speeding in the pits. And unfortunately, that is going to knock him further down the grid, and he's not going to be a happy camper there. So they got 3 laps to serve that penalty. But, oh man, what a blow. And the problem is, as soon as you hit that pit monitor, you already go up into second gear. As soon as you near get all 4 wheels across that pit exit line. Otherwise, if you do it slightly before, if the front wheels go over, it immediately takes the 30-second penalty for speeding, and you have to be at 50 k's an hour, which is incredibly slow, especially on a pit stop like this. where time is absolutely critical as they march their way around. Gerard still lying in third place, trying to push as hard as he can. Ryan managing to close the gap down on Jakes, 6.6 seconds. It is going to be difficult, 15.5 seconds. So the guys are having to really pull out all the stops here. Dylan's still going around, so is Jacques. They're not planning to pull in anytime soon. Really trying to go for the end of the race, and that's where the difficulty comes in. So the guys are having to really battle their way around. Right here, Paul Ricard for the second last race. And ladies and gentlemen, as I say, we've got 3 races tonight. We have got our Alpha tier, second last race, happening right now. So then we have got our Bravo tier, their final race for the season. And then straight after them, our Alpha tier with their final race for the season. So the guys are really having to pull out all the stops here and try and push themselves. It is a racing night, ladies and gentlemen, and this is exactly why we're here, to enjoy some fantastic racing right here in SARCO. Very, very thankful for the guys doing everything they can, and a big thank you to CT Auto Electrical for being a proud sponsor for the ACC GT3. Glad to have them on board and being with us. And if you're looking for any electrical work done, go to CT Auto Electrical. They will get you sorted out, whether you're in a race car or whether you're in your normal car. Have the finest prep in the whole of South Africa at CT Auto Electrical. Getting back to our race, 14 minutes left of the race. Benja still need to serve that stop-go penalty. He does so he's climbing out to go clear. Is he going to be able to not get it? Yep, he manages just to get it right, but is down into 10th place. He's got a lot of work. He has to try and catch up to Alexander, who is on the opposite side of the circuit, so he's got some bit of work to do. Gerard really pushing as hard as he can. Jake's trying to make up a bit of ground. Ryan, 7.9 seconds, so he is dropping off Jake's quite a bit there. Not what he wants to do. He wants to try gain in time, not lose it out. Dylan really pushing to go after Jacques. He is closing a little bit on Jacques. Might be able to make it. 13 laps in for these drivers. Jacques managing to get 13 laps in, and is really showing off what that Bentley can do. Absolutely incredible car. Looks like it's a lumbering piece of metal, but is so flamboyant when you actually drive it. Very, very stable car. Can go over curbs. Then you've got the Porsche, who's very, very tricky to set up. And I can say with absolute pleasure, it is not my favorite car at all by any means, but Dylan managing to prove that the Porsche is incredible in the right hands and not in mine. Right behind him is Gerard, also in the Porsche all season, been very, very consistent and fighting for the championship. And Gerard has been quite a fighter straight through, and he's been quite a big supporter and a big help for SARCO. Right behind him, we've got Jakes. Glad to have him back. He was out for a little bit and jumping back into his Bentley, part of the Green Mambas team. And glad to have him back. Absolutely incredible driver. Very, very friendly person to also have a chat to. Right behind him is Ryan. Incredible driver. Really knows how to pedal the Mercedes. Has been consistent all season with great pace. Unfortunately dropping off at the moment, so it looks like those tyres are starting to take a bit of an impact here, and the driver also getting tired with only 11.5 minutes left of the race. Right behind them is Marshall in the Lamborghini. Don't count Marshall out. He has always been a late game showstopper and has really pulled out all the stops a few times on us with a great surprise. unfortunately we are missing a couple of drivers. It is towards the end of the season, and some of the times we weren't able to make it. We look forward to having them back next season as we head on. So it's going to be absolutely incredible with lots to come, lots of news to come. So please take note of our social media on Facebook and YouTube, and we'll be able to let you know some absolute action coming on for our stones and also for our more modern racing. 15 laps in, and still Jacques and Dylan have not pitted. But I take a look, Dylan is in the pit, so Dylan is now going for a late pit stop, 10 minutes after the race. Is that going to be helpful towards him? We have to find out as he comes in for a stop. Remember, he just needs to get on the jacks and get back out there as he does so. But Jacques still going, so Jacques is going for a very, very late game. Ooh, so guys in the chat, I want you to tell me, what do you think? Do you think Jacques is going to be able to make this work as everyone has pitted behind him? Also, please like and subscribe and share our link with all your friends and family for the final race. I want to see how many people we can get on YouTube and how many people we can get on Facebook to come and join us for the final round. So take the link, share it out to everyone. We want to pull in as many supporters towards the end right here at SARCO, sponsored by CT Auto Electrical. This is the SARCO GT3 Championship. This is the second last race, and then we have got our final race, which is after our Bravo tier, which is coming up. So our Bravo tier is literally after this race. Then we have got our Alpha tier again. Jacques pulling in the pits, so Jacques is in the pits, and that has allowed Gerard, who is on the back straight, trying to gain a little bit of momentum. It depends, he might be able to make it. He's a bit far. Jake's in third place. Dylan in fourth is pushing as hard as he can. So Dylan, I'm not sure if that strategic helped him, but Jacques is in the pit. And let's see, this comes to a stop. Oh, it's going to be close. But it looks like Jacques heading back out onto the circuit. Gerard doing everything he can to try and make up a bit of ground. But Jacques heading out into the circuit. And he is away and going. But could this be? Do my eyes deceive me, ladies and gentlemen? Do we know what just happened? Anyone can take a guess? Well, let me let you know here. If my timing screen is right, which it is, looking at Dylan, Jacques' pit stop didn't work. Jacques has to go back into the pits once again. So Jacques is on the back foot here. He has to pit once again, which means he can lose his first place to Gerard and to Jakes and to Dylan, who are getting very close to him. So ladies and gentlemen, this might be an upset in the last 7 minutes of the race. Jacques has not counted his pit, so this is a chance that Jacques might not actually come on top. We're going to have to keep an eye on this, ladies and gentlemen. What a major upset. Jacques' pit stop, for the guys that have just joined us, hasn't worked. So he still has to pit again to clear his pit stop. So he's losing out some major time here, ladies and gentlemen. And that means Gerard, who's 16 seconds behind, has a chance. If he can really pull out the stops, he might be able to get ahead of Jacques. Jacques going past the pits once again. Does Jacques know? Oh no, ladies and gentlemen, this might be an absolute upset. So Jacques might lose the first position. Maybe he's decided he's going to try and pull as much of a gap as possible so he can go for that quick in and out. but in 6 minutes, I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. So Gerard might actually be able to take that second place if he can keep the pace going. 8 seconds, 8.7 seconds behind him is Jakes, and his teammate 5 seconds behind him. So Dylan is pushing. He wants to get in that top 3 to get as close in the points as possible to Gerard. And Jakes can really just put a spanner in the works here if he doesn't get into the pits. It can really move Gerard, Jakes, Dylan, Sarge, everyone up, as he would have messed that one up. Jakes trying to push. He knows his teammates coming up behind him. I'm absolutely blown away. Jacques is really putting the hammer down here, ladies and gentlemen. He's trying to power away. Gerard trying to catch up to him, but is losing out a lot of time. So every eyes goes on Jacques here, who's trying to pull a monstrous gap so he can get in and out of the pits as fast as he can. And we'll have to see. Derek Anderson, can my tattoo artist give the controller a rest and give me some ink? Well, I can answer that for you. I don't actually think so. Because the championship at the moment is being wrapped up tonight. This is a second last race. Then we have got our Bravo tier, then our Alpha tier going around Nürburgring for their last race. So I think your tattoo artist is a little bit busy, but if he manages to get up through the championship, you can be sure that maybe you're going to get that special adjust. So we're going to have to see. You've got to put in some major support. Who is your tattoo artist, out of curiosity? I want to know which one of these drivers is actually your tattoo artist. Wow, absolutely. This is really turning into a nail biter. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to know from you guys in the chat, Facebook, YouTube. Do you think Jacques knows that he has got one more pit stop to go? Because he hasn't pitted, and we've got 4 minutes left of this incredible race. 4 minutes, and it can upset the entire balance. Jake's losing out a bit of time. Dylan's still fighting, 5.1 seconds behind, so he really needs to push as hard as he can right now to get up through the ranks. So, oh my heavens, will Jacques be able to do it? Will he have enough of a gap? I'm not quite sure. This is the first time I can say I'm running out of words here, but I'm excited to see what happens, because this can really mix up the championship. Jacques has got some points to play with, 230 points, but this can knock out and take a massive chunk out of his points if he falls down the grid too far. Oh my heavens. Oh wow, this is going to be absolutely incredible. Gerard, 19.5 seconds behind. He is still pushing. 3 minutes and 4 seconds left of the race, ladies and gentlemen, of the second last race of our Alpha GT3 SARCO Championship. Then we've got Bravo. Then we have got our Alphas going back down. He's chilling in 6th, so that's Marshall over there. So Marshall going and missing a bit of work. Andrade will have a chat to him. He has to give you a discount, I think. He will have to give you a discount. Lying in 6th place, he has to give you a discount. If he was further up, you know, then you'll understand. But old Marshall, Andrade is needing his tattoo, so he needs to actually have that happen to him. But absolutely incredible. Jake's managing to catch up a little ground. He's 11 seconds. Jacques is back in the pit. And Dylan, oh man, this is going to be into a bit of a battle here. Gerard has gone past, but on our system, it doesn't look like he has taken the lead away. But our system hasn't updated. Looking over to my fellow commentator, Gerard in first place, Jake's in second, Dylan in third. So Jacques has fallen back. Jacques is in fourth. So the battle for position is between Jacques and Dylan right now for third place. So Jacques really has to push hard here. Dylan has to keep it together for 1 minute and 30 seconds. This might change the entire championship completely on its head, ladies and gentlemen. Gerard might be able to take the championship and make a massive gap and be a major headache for his fellow drivers. Creeping Apple, lying in 8th place, is actually 7th in the championship of Grade Racing. Jake's, who's in 2nd, is lying 8th in the championship. They move so far up now, and now this is where the pressure comes on. You can see Jacques trying to get into the toe, and there's only 50 seconds. Let's go with 60% for 6th and 10% for 1st place. I have to agree with that one. That gets a seal of approval. If he wants to query it, he can come right here to SARCO. Dylan goes and loses it though. Dylan loses it back in. Jacques goes into the wall. He hits reverse. Dylan going back and going. But how much damage is done to both cars? That's the trick. But Dylan losing that back end. And he's having to really fight it out. He has got Sarge chasing him. So now Ryan's brought into the battle here. Oh my heavens, the entire championship flipped on its head, ladies and gentlemen. As we watch Gerard, who is just driving, everyone just has to knuckle down and keep going. This is turning into a bit of a race here. And you can see that Bentley, not a happy camper, has got some damage to it, but he really is trucking on. But ladies and gentlemen, the man who is really climbing up, who was an absolute upset, who's currently in 1st place, he just has to keep it together. No pressure. At this point, goes to Gerard in the Porsche to take the 2nd last race win, if he can hold it together. He is on the last lap, and we're giving him a bit of showtime here. Gerard of Team Rockstars. If he can get this, he's going to be partying like a rock star. Right behind him is Jakes of the Green Mumbas, and he's really pushing as hard as he can. He's still trying to go for that 1st place. If Gerard loses it, Jakes will be able to take it. Dylan losing a lot of time, losing a lot of straight line speed. Ryan immediately right onto the back. So Ryan trying to go on the outside, side by side action between the two. And Jacques trying to make up a bit of ground as well. So Ryan getting up past Dylan. Now he's pushing as hard as he can to get going. But as we head back to our 1st place, you can see Gerard still a happy camper. Dylan trying to go on the inside, trying to go late on the brakes, pushing Ryan up very wide, managing to do so, and is keeping on the pressure. So he's really putting on the pressure now, ladies and gentlemen, trying everything he can. Ryan looks to fight back and managing to get ahead. Dylan trying to go on the inside, has the door immediately closed on him, and now the hard work starts. But ladies and gentlemen, across the line, taking the 1st place for the 2nd last race of the championship, goes to Gerard. Right behind him is Jakes of the Green Numbers. 3rd place at the moment looks to be Ryan. Dylan trying to go on the outside. He's not going to be able to have enough drive. He loses, outbrakes himself. So Ryan getting ahead. Dylan managing to just put a little bit more drive between himself and Jacques in 5th place. 6th place goes to Marshall, who really owes his man a good tattoo at this point. Andrasi has to get a very good tattoo from Marshall, and absolutely incredible. 7th place it goes to Greg. Creeping Apple lying in 8th place. 9th goes to Alexander, and 10th place goes to Mitchell. Absolutely wow, incredible racing between them all. And we're going to actually be hearing from the guys as well. So I'm just blown away, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Oh my, what a race, what an upset within the last 10 minutes. And now we're going to be moving on to our Bravo tier for their final round. And ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be an exciting race. But one person that is taking a little bit of a breather, he's going to be coming in a little bit just now, and is going to be knuckling down and really powering his way through in the next race, I do believe, is my co-commentator, and I do think he is on a man on a mission. And we're going to have our drivers come in and have a chat to us in Discord as well, and get a bit of input of how we're going to do it. But Ryan stepping past and managing to get to that third place away from Dylan. Absolutely incredible, incredible work.
Gerard, kan je mij horen?
Yes, ik wil.
Kan je mij zien?
Ja,
Nee.
ja. Oké.
Het jy jou videokamera gedruk?
Ja.
Oké, ek gaan net gou weer uit en weer in. Is julle op?
Hallo?
Gerard, is julle op?
Yes, ik
Yes.
maar ik ben net heel luid niet.
Ja, hy luid nie. Ek gaan weer uit en in.
Wat zei je?
Is hy nou reg?
Oh my goodness, what a freaking crazy race there. Yo,
Yes, Dylan.
thought,
What happened to you there at the end? I thought you had a third position, members 1, 2 and 3, man.
Yeah, going through the long right-hander, I got a little bit close to Jacques, and he unfortunately just tipped me on the back.
Oh.
Yeah, oh well, it is what it is. And then I tried to squeeze old Sarge out, but I had rear damage, so I found it very, very difficult to keep the car turning through there. So, jeez. But yeah, let's start off with you, Sarge. Had a long battle with Jakes early on in the race, and you guys started just pulling away. I thought, oh my man, I'm not going to be able to come and fight you guys. And all of a sudden, I come out the pits, and it looks like my strategy seems to be paying off for me. I'll end up jumping a few places and got ahead of you after the pit stop. What happened in the pits?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think your strategy was just a bit better, because I saw, for some reason, when I came out the pits, I saw you in second place, and you still needed to pit, and you were 40 seconds ahead. It's like, what? What is going on?
Mamba strategy, that's what that was. And then my Jakes, I was flashing, hoping that you would see and feel sorry for me and slow down and let me overtake you so that I could close up some points on Gerard. But we never run team what's it? Team orders in Green Mambas, and we gooi to race. So yeah, really lekker.
I must say, I didn't see your headlights at all.
I wasn't close enough. That's the problem.
Yeah, you weren't close enough, but our mics were on. You could just have told me that, Jakes, listen, I can see that that your tires is not doing good. Don't keep it up.
Oh man, no, it's all good. Wait, hold on, just give me a second here, guys. SARCO for you. So I was just helping Stephen get back into his lobby there, and then Gerard. Great start for you. Got yourself into second place. And while Jacques was pulling away ever so slowly, you definitely were keeping him honest there.
Yeah, I had a lonely race. I only saw Mimo. It's the only other guy I saw on the tracks. It's just lap after lap after lap. And then I saw suddenly he had, I think it's collision with you. And then there was only a 16-second gap and he had to pit. So I Okay, if we just can keep it on a track.
Look, an absolutely fantastic race there for you and a win there for you. So I'm just seeing that there's some confusion here.
Yeah, there's something that happened with Jock. He made a pit stop, but the pit stop didn't register, so he had to go make a pit stop again. So I don't know what happened there.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, so I just managed to get out in front of him going into the pits. So that was quite a crazy moment. And Jacques, I'm sorry about that. I was holding my line, and the next thing, that Bentley carried the speed way faster than I anticipated. And a little bump there. But a great race for Jacques, nevertheless, and unfortunately, sometimes those errors do happen. So thank you very much, guys. Jakes, I don't know if you want to stick around for the Bravo tier. I do see that there might be some issues. It's got stuck in free practice, so I'm just going to have to reset that server quickly, and then we will be up and running once again.
Right, I'll just have to get a charger for my phone then, darling.
Lekker.
All right.
Well done, Gerard.
So guys,
See you in the next one.
later.
Nürburgring. Okay, thank you everybody for your patience. The Bravo tier unfortunately glitched out properly. Everybody was kicked out, and all of a sudden it went back into the free practice. So we've just reset that server. We have got rid of that practice. Jakes is just going to be getting a... There's Jakes now.
Dylan?
Yes, my Jakes.
I don't have the right charger to phone my phone. Otherwise, I must go into my... let me go into my bedroom and commentate from there.
So if you'd like, what I can do is I will bring up the screen for you so you're able to see.
Yes, please.
That would be fantastic. Alright, Jakes, I was just giving everybody a quick little update. Is that we had to reset that server, and because it went into the free practice again in the Bravo tier. You can hear the driver's briefing currently being given by Stephen. But this is ACC. This is the final race. We're in some of the best That was a very, very professional driver's briefing from our in-house commentator, Stephen. Thank you, Stephen, for that. Really looking forward to seeing you take that green Mamba vehicle and smash it around the track. So, about Jake's Paul Ricard, did you enjoy that?
I must say, it's not a track that I actually enjoy, Dylan, but tonight everything just worked for me, and I must say, I quite enjoyed that. It was, I really enjoyed it. Nice.
I must give props to Marshall. Man, oh man, he was putting so much pressure because I don't know what happened off the start, but the guys just seemed to be taking it way too easy. I then jumped around the outside and got myself into 5th place going into turn number 1, and then had Marshall keeping me very, very honest. I just couldn't get away from him. He did want to have a look going into the fast right-hander after the straight, but he kept just backing out just enough to give him the momentum. And once my car got into that 60 litres, that's when I was able to start pulling away from him. So, Marshall, thank you for that. That was freaking nerve-wracking. You can see I'm actually like shining because I'm still sweating. It's
me too.
Quite hot in our little SARCO HQ. Guys, if you are watching on Facebook and YouTube, send us your messages. Tell us how you've enjoyed this season. If you're new to the channel, just tell us who you're going to be supporting this evening. We do always love hearing from the guys that are watching. So we have 1 minute 47 seconds. So while we wait for that timer to go down, I can quickly just get into the server. And I'm using a G29 to navigate, so everything feels a little bit tricky to what it was before.
A little bit better.
A little bit tricky. I don't know if you heard me, my Jakes.
Who's standing there behind you? Is that Steve?
Steven, indeed. You're supposed to be
Steve, the man.
In your seat. They've got a minute left to go there.
So just biding a bit of time, but I have to remind everyone that the championships are being wrapped up for Bravo tier and Alpha tier. The closest is Alpha tier, and this man over here is currently trying to compose himself for the next race to do it. How close?
Gerard has pulled like nearly 30 points on me now, so...
But anything can happen.
Yes,
it isn't over till the fat lady sings. So ladies and gentlemen, keep an eye on it. We've got the green numbers in the booth. Hopefully they don't slither their way out of it. But who is going to
go to your chair?
Any case, one to watch, Alpha tier immediately after this, close in points. And Jakes, any word of wisdom you would like to pass on to this man?
Yes, for sure. For sure, Steve. Like you said, anything can happen. And anything can happen. We just saw that that Dylan beat Jock through technicalities now. But if I am ahead of Dylan in the next race, man, there's something going to be going wrong with my tires, and I had to slow down for you to pass.
Thank you, my Jakes. I hope you're listening. You know, these tires that we're going to be using across the different cars, you know, the Porsche definitely holds a lot better.
Yeah, right.
But officially, we don't run team orders, just so everybody knows and understands that.
Yeah,
Jakes might be experiencing some difficult technical difficulties. Jo, meneer Pieter Reiling, lekker om jou saam met ons te kom kuier. Hy sê gee gas. How's that for a quick translation? Pieter, lekker man.
Hey, lekker.
Really awesome to see you
Peter.
again. Then we've got Daniel
And
War
Dylan.
Machine Morales. He's going Simstuff Racing. Let's go. And yo, that looks very French. So Mr. Orense, or Orense, yeah. Mr. Orense, that first name, I'm probably going to butcher it next to none. All right, guys, so we are able to get into the qualifying. Let's get this up and no need. We are 30 seconds away.
Dylan, I still don't have a screen.
Yep, my Jakes, I don't have that screen either. But
Okay.
Darfate. Now I'm able to get us back in, and I will share it accordingly. There you go, my Jakes. We are officially live in the practice in the qualifying, and out in front we do
There we go.
Stefan, who does have a event planned for this coming Sunday. That is the P1 1000. We are racing in the BMWs. We are racing around Kalomi. So you guys, if you have not entered, the details are up on our website. Go and check that out. You can come in and take part in that really exciting sprint event happening this coming Sunday.
What time is that event starting, Dylan?
I think it starts at 5. Just double check the details on our website. Great question, James. So guys, if you have just joined us, unfortunately you have missed an absolute cracker of a first race. And that first race was essentially the Alpha tier, making up for the massive server disconnect failure that we had a couple of weeks ago. Starts at 4:30, my Jakes. The servers will be reset. Driver's briefing is at 5 to 5, and then we have the qualifying rounds, 15-minute racing, and then we'll go into the final, semi-final, and final happening directly after that. So we should be done about 6:45 on Sunday.
Is that a full lobby that's going to take place?
So we do have a few spaces that are available. We do have 2 semi-final heats. So the top drivers out of each of the semi-finals will be promoted into the final race.
Okay.
Just remember, guys, if you are interested in racing, that car is in the BMW. So I see Paul Fenter, he's jumped up onto the YouTube channel. Paul, how's it? Just wanted to know what happened. I was pretty sure that you were in that race, but I didn't see you. If you could just drop us a message, because that definitely alleviates some of that pressure that I had building. Controllers are working, so we'll have to use this. Let's just jump onto Flip on Sale, and I do want to jump into some of the points just so we can get an understanding of how close this championship is as well here in the Bravo tier. So my Jakes, first and second are by no means finalized, and the reason being is we have Freshie, who's currently on 188 points. In second place on 182 points, it's separated by 6 points, is Ryan in that Bentley. Then 6 points behind Ryan, 16 points, apologies, behind Ryan is Flip, the man currently in screen. And as we've seen, anything can happen. So any one of these drivers could be walking away with this championship this evening.
Wow.
So some support coming for Dion. Dion unfortunately missing last week, but he joined us in his first race about 3 weeks ago. First race with us, lands up winning that race. Absolute great drive, so I'm sure lots of support will be coming through for him here. Dion is currently lying 8th in the championship, but with him have only raced 2 races out of the 6. It is no wonder why he is further down, but as you can see there, a 157.0 puts him at top of the standings with Ryan in second and Flip in third place. The driver we do want to be keeping our eye on is Freshie. That is a guy who's based in the United States of America.
Is that him in position number 12 at this stage?
That is him in 12th place at this stage,
Wow.
correct, having not been able to put up a lap time. And he is our current championship leader. And just in front of that is Ryan, who is second. 6 points is the difference.
This is going to be a cracker of a race.
So,
I just love that color scheme of Freshie's car. It looks magnificent.
a little bit of black and gold. Paul, that is absolutely soul-destroying. Paul's just put up the reason why he wasn't in that race. His plumber arrived to fix the faulty geyser and tripped the switch, which was supposed to be done at 4
man.
o'clock. So unfortunately, that ruined his race there. Apologies, Paul. That's not how I would have wanted to beat the
Bad
Project
luck,
Red
Paul.
Cats. So 4 minutes left of qualifying, and ooh, look at that, Duppy, he goes and sneaks one up between himself, between Ryan and Dion. 0.0, I was about to say 0.06, something didn't look right there, then all of a sudden that gap extended once again.
I must say, Duppy is a guy that really impressed me with this with Assetto Corsa. He's been doing very good in this specific game. He's one to look at, man.
Yeah,
He's
most
gonna do
definitely.
good.
And just judging by the top drivers there, we also have Ronaldo. He also put in an absolute cracker performance. He did get stuck behind Brett for a little bit, but we know that he's definitely capable. Even if you just look at the times currently, that is 0.7 between himself and Duppy, so there's those 4 places separated by 0.7, and less than 1.5 seconds for the top 5, and anything can happen. This Nürburgring
Yes.
is fast, it is tight, there are some corners where you get to decide whether you take that risk or not, and that's exactly what can change. As you can see, Guy running himself just a little bit wide.
Yes, and with those 2 fast S's that you have, if you don't take the first corner 100%, the second corner is totally out of line. Then you lose a lot of time.
And the thing is that even in my little Porsche, I'm not flat through there, and that definitely worries me. Because I know a lot of the guys will be committing through there, they're going to be pushing extremely hard. I unfortunately just can't do it.
So somebody listening to the stream, if you are behind Dylan, just before the SS, slow down before the time, because Dylan is definitely going to slow down.
Yes. Or will he?
That's a thing.
Yeah. Well, we do know that this evening Mamba Fever was a thing, except for Sarge. He managed to... Yo! That was Ronaldo going flying past there. I keep forgetting. I keep going.
Me and Sarge had a...
and I keep forgetting to push the X so that it changes. So apologies, guys, for the very, very slack camera work. Yeah, you were saying, my Alex?
I want to say me and Sarge gave each other a good race there in the beginning of the first 20 minutes or so, just before I went into pit. He gave me a lot of anxious moments, but I must say he's a very clean racer, and he managed to get past me, and I managed to. There's some lag. Wow.
So that was Ronaldo flying in the air. Looks like he might have been disconnected from our server.
Yeah.
I hope he's able to get back in, but that's very unfortunate for him because that means he will be starting down in Gerard's in 11th place. I wonder whether he's just jumped in to watch from the side. And then we've got Senior Ghost. That is Ethan. And he's also could possibly put up a good result here. We have seen him win a race, and that was at Laguna Seca. So another person we definitely should not be discrediting.
Absolutely, Dylan. I'm just going to move from my bedroom to...
Ronaldo is back, and he has retained that 5th position. So guys, as the time starts winding down, I am going to be exiting. just so that we do get ourselves back in before the blue screen. And it doesn't matter what you do, the blue screen is always going to happen.
Dylan, how can I move my block where my face is to another part on the screen?
Are you not able? You can just touch the actual stream screen, and then what will happen is that will enlarge that piece, and then your face should be out of the way.
Still staying there. Because my face is blocking all the names on the left-hand side.
Oh, I see. Can you not put your finger on it and see whether you can just
No.
slide it across?
Drag it down. No, I can't drag it down.
Okay. So then what I'll have to do is I will have to give you the positions, and if you'd like to find out what they are, just let me know.
All right. Let's do that. Oh, we can take my face totally out of this.
Yeah, you possibly could, yeah.
Just a voice. You can still hear me?
Yes, I can, my Jakes.
Okay, my face is gone. Oh, wonderful.
There we go.
But then I can also go in there and watch. No, let's rather not do that. Is the server down? Okay, so he's going to practice. Okay. Oh, no, that's not.
So there we go, everybody. We are currently going in. They are on their formation lap.
Looks like they have started.
Oh, a little bit of rubbing there into turn number 1, but it generally looks that it
But,
was
yeah.
pretty clean through there. So really, really good
Yes.
to see. Ooh, little running wide
Somebody's
there
going
from
wide there.
Ronaldo around the outside.
But he managed to bring it back and not lose a position there. Nice start there by Dupi. He's second at this stage.
Yeah, that was a very nice clean start. Let's just see what's happening further down, because there is our championship leader.
And
he's
he
down
is
in
seventh.
7th place. But still,
Yo, see.
40 minutes left of this race, guys. There is a mandatory pit stop, and as you can see, the gold one indicates that there does need to be a pit stop that has to happen. Well, that looked like
Somebody went off there.
Brett going off a little bit there. But lots and lots of congestion further down the order, as the guys still try and just get the nerves to settle ever so slightly. here in the last race of the season here for the Alpha Tier. Just remember, Alpha Tier, the Bravo Tier. The Alpha Tier will be up and running a little bit later this evening for their final round. And man, oh man, we're going to have to do lots of calculations to see who is going to be leading this championship at the end. We do know that it is SARCO Racing who was out in front, but it is those third, fourth and fifth positions that it is anybody's fight there.
Absolutely. I see Stephen has made up another position. He's in position number 9 now, doing very good for himself there and for in the member car.
Number colours. So to the guys in the Alpha Tier, we are going to be just resetting that server in the next couple of minutes. Just got to make sure that everything is according to. So we will be starting just a little bit later than expected, because the last thing we want to be doing is getting that server going. Myself and Jakes are not in for a qualifying. That is definitely not going to work. So we might just have a 10-minute delay for that last race. But we will get the server up and running as soon as possible. Just making sure that everybody is accounted for when we go into the qualifying.
We are on position number what there with the car that you on now?
So that is Ryan, who's currently in 3rd place.
3rd place, alright. And Dupi just in front of him.
Just trying to chase down Dupi. Then I see that the two PW1, the Papa Whiskey 1 racing team, they're currently in 5th and 6th respectively. So that is Ethan and Stefan. They're in 5th and 6th, but just behind there, that is Brett. He's going to want to be moving up. And down in 11th place, that is Flip. That is
Flip.
what
Wow.
he would want to be, because we're starting to see that Freshie is moving up the order. He's now in the 4th position. That's exactly where he wants to be. Just wants to bide his time, make sure he's able to cover the points between himself and Dupi, and Freshie will be the championship winner here this evening.
See if Freshie is making up some valuable time there for himself. You don't have live points at this stage, but the guy just behind him in the championship is who?
Let me just bring that up for you quickly, my Jake. So in 2nd place is Ryan, and Ryan is currently in 3rd and 6 points.
Wow.
So if they stay in these current positions,
Then Ryan will be 1st.
Ryan will be the championship winner.
Wow.
That's exactly it. Guys, apologies for the silence. We're just making sure that the Alpha Tier server is correct, that all the right track information has been loaded, so that when we do have, we are good to go.
Dylan, I can't see how much Freshie is behind Ryan there.
So that's just about 5 seconds.
Okay, and we'll be just watching that gap.
Yeah, I'll definitely keep my eye on that. But Pete now starting to close up on the back of Ethan, and it looks like he's definitely got that Audi hooked up this evening. He has been moving himself up through the order. Ronaldo going into the pit, so obviously deciding to get himself out of the chaos. But,
so he's already done his pit stop.
That he has. That is very smart, because now he'll be able to just turn those laps over. And now we've got Steven chasing down the Ferrari of Brett. Just going to make sure that everything is nice and tidy when we go into the braking zone. That that Porsche was very squirrely on the brakes, but Stephen was able to stay away from Brett. That's what we want to see: good, close, competitive, hard racing, but drive with respect for each other.
And 2 more guys went into the pits there. Also, early pit stops for them. It is Flip and I can't see the other guy.
It's Ethan.
Ethan. Wow. Okay. Is that gap between Freshie and Ryan still 5 seconds?
It's now gone to 5.6 seconds, so Freshie is starting to lose just a little bit of ground between
just
himself
a little bit, maybe he made a little mistake.
Yeah.
Oh, there was some member fever going on there.
No, what it looked like that there was a little bit of a lag bubble there, because it did look like
Steve is slowing down, so just to indicate that he made the mistake there, and he's going to give, I don't know, he bumped off there. He's going to give him chance just to make up that place.
Yeah. So he's definitely given that place. But let's jump up the order to our 3rd place driver, and that is Ryan. In these current positions, this is the new championship leader. Not only that, the championship winner. So Freshie's going to have an almighty battle to close up. And apologies. Duppy's made a mistake. So Duppy's now
No, Duppy went in. He went into the pits.
We can see
so he also made a big
pits,
pit
so
stop.
that now makes a lot more sense.
Is Freshie still losing some time
So
to Ryan?
Well, now what's happened is that between Freshie and Duppy, that's 5 seconds plus 2 seconds there, so he's nearly 7 seconds behind Ryan. So Freshie's really going to have a strong next couple of sectors in terms of the splits up. So the first 10 minutes has cost him just about, so we see once Ryan crosses the line, so there's 8 seconds between himself and the leader. We'll see where it lands up. So there we go, 7.3 seconds between the championship fighting contenders.
Looks like somebody's got a penalty, time penalty.
Ethan, 30 seconds, so that's probably that's Duppy now.
He was too fast in the pits, maybe.
Stuck in between Brett and
that's going to lose him some time.
But just remember, these guys are fighting for position, so they have every right to fight for these places. As I go off Duppy, they go side by side. See Stephen just letting Duppy go past as they approach through the S's. Very, very dangerous place to be making an overtake, but it has worked out in Duppy's favour. That puts Pete up also now into 5th place, so he's now starting to close up on Freshie as well. 2.5 seconds is the gap there.
Yes. So he's catching up to Freshie.
That is correct.
Wow. The championship lead is slowly slipping out of Freshie's hands here. With the gap getting bigger and bigger.
Now this is a very interesting turn of events, because we've got Stefan in 3rd place, and I wasn't quite sure how he's got himself there, but according to the timing, Stefan's in 3rd place and he's got himself between Ryan and Guy. So I'm not sure whether there was some sort of calculation mix-up that while Duppy was going to the pits and then coming out, that we didn't see that overtake, but we've got Stefan in 3rd position.
Wow, I think it's because of a pit stop. And another thing that we must also look out for is Sly Pete. He's the guy that usually never pits straight away. He waits till the end before he pits, so he's going to try and make up some nice positions here, and just make a quick pit stop at the end of the race.
So so that was my idea as well. I think that is Stefan making a little mistake there, going round the back. Now he'll be on the start-finish line down the back straight. Took way too much speed there going into turn number 10. So that's going to allow Freshies to start closing up on him now. Do you hear a little bit of laughter in the background? There seems to be a nice little battle once again between Brett and Stephen.
Is that teammates?
No.
Okay.
So Stephen driving in the 69 of the green Mamba colours, and he's got Brett chasing him down in that.
Okay, now I see.
So Dion out in front in first place, starting to put in a commanding gap between himself and Ryan. Now 10 seconds is the gap there. Looks like Stephen got a good exit out of the last corner, turn number 15. So he has been able to just edge just over half a second between himself and Brett, who's in 8th position.
Stephen must have a nice setup on that Porsche there.
Must just remind myself to check that setup, because I know that there's a few settings that Stephen likes to adjust to suit his driving style. When I will get the car before him, and then he makes those changes accordingly. So Jake's Freshie into the pits, so he's now into 5th place, which now promotes Pete up into 4th. And you can see Duppy in 5th place. So he's provisionally in that 2nd place, knowing that he was behind Dion, and Dion hasn't pitted.
Yeah, and it's not like Duppy had slow traffic in front of him, so I don't think he lost any pace there. So if Dion comes out, he should still be in front, because he was quite a far ahead behind, unless he make a mistake in the pits.
We know
Duppy should be.
How quickly that can happen.
I see Duppy is the first guy of all the front runners that made the pit stop. He had the pit stop already, so it's going to be interesting to see if they all pit to see where they pop out.
So I think one thing that is going to play on a guy's mind who's down in 8th, you can see he's now catching this battle between Stephen and Brett, and knowing that these two in front of him haven't pitted, he's going to have to make very quick work of them, or else that gap between
they're going to lose a
Ryan,
lot of time.
It's going to be extended a lot further than he would have wanted.
That is not what he wanted. Because they won't have the blue flags for them, because they're all racing for positions now. So they're going to give it all.
So we see we have a visitor that has joined us here in the Discord. It is Carl Lawrence. Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Sorry, I just realized I'm still push to talk. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Hello, Carl.
Carl, how's it? How are you doing?
All good, all good. You know, in our ACC on PC on a Monday night, you have to be on push to talk, so I'm still set up for that.
Here we like to just give everybody the free reign of when they talk, and away you go. So you've now just joined us with 24 minutes left to go of the final race of our Bravo tier. And as we're currently standing, Ryan, who's currently in 2nd place, is about to win this championship. We've got Freshie, who's leading this championship. He's down in 8th place, but he's got a 6th and 7th place battle happening in front of him. Guy has pitted. We see that Brett realizes that is the championship leader and moved out of the way and has allowed him to go through. So
Yeah, very nice of him.
obviously knowing that is not his battle. And here we go.
definitely a gentlemanly thing to do. I mean, he moved right out the way. Off you go, son. I'm not going to fight with you. You go do you. I'll stay here and do what I need to do. I do love, though, if you drop down to 7th place in ACC on your windscreen, it says 007. I love that. That's amazing. 007.
Exactly. So, Carl, have you been much racing?
We've been flat out with the karting. I've joined the Legends series with SRA, which is quite fun. I missed the first round of the second, so that was quite great. And then obviously my usual Monday night with ACC. We do that every Monday night. It's an absolute joy. I actually raced in the pro server on Monday night, which was awesome. Bit of a move here from Freshie. Freshie got some pace out there at the moment.
Yeah. So
you better get a move on.
A little flash there to Stephen. You can see Stephen in 6th place. I'm sure Freshie's feeling that he's been held up ever so slightly. So Stephen runs a little bit wide, allows him to move up on the inside. Or has he? Yes, he has. No, he hasn't. I'm so confused.
Nope, he hasn't. Stephen is not going to give up that easily. He's going to make...
You can see the pressure on it actually touching nose to the tail. They're trying to get the move done. Maybe forcing him a little bit wide there to get down on I think that on the outside of him there. I don't know if he's going to be able to make the move coming up into the next corner though from that inside corner. That would be definition of a block pass, and unfortunately it didn't quite work out for him. He actually ran off the circuit.
Stephen is definitely not going to give this position away easily.
I've noticed that the Ferrari is getting a lot better around the Nürburgring. They were quite far off the pace, but I think since the updates and that they've gotten a little bit quicker around here. But the Porsche is definitely a handful to put around here, especially that chicane, as he freshly runs very wide trying to get past there.
Yeah, that was hard.
Yeah, I think he's losing a bit of patience the way he's flashing those lights at the moment.
Well, now he comes to the chicane.
I hope this is not going to end up in tears.
Oh, you can just see the frustration. The frustration is actually palpable. You can actually taste the frustration from Fresh. They're trying to get past on the Porsche. Coming from a long way back, it's weird though. I mean, the Ferrari shouldn't have the legs on the Porsche. Maybe just getting too frustrated, getting too close, and not getting the run down the straight. But he's got a massive braking marker coming up now into the hairpin into turn 1. So if we're going to see a full send moment from 3 car lengths back, I don't think so. Hard on the brakes, he does close it up. Oh, dives for the late apex pass there.
Gets the move.
That was an excellent move.
That was proper. So the Porsche having to slow it down and turn it in and overslow it, and he just stuck it up the inside last minute. Brilliant.
So we're still waiting to see our race leader Dion going and pitting. I just want to see the other 2 races that Dion actually raced with us. So he had a 1st place and a 2nd place, and here he's going to win. So if he had been a part of this championship and driven a few more races, he could be challenging up for those podium places. Exactly.
Yes.
So here's another little piece of information for you, my Jackson. Carl, you might actually enjoy this. Sly Pete is currently in 4th place, and he is 16 points in the championship behind the 3rd place driver, who's currently 11th. So if Pete gets a good result, he could get himself on the 3rd spot for the championship overall.
Wow, so old Peter there, he had a reason to leave work early this afternoon, clearly. He needed to get some laps in and find some pace. We have a look at, he's only 0.8 off the pace now. Oh, he's gone up in the 3rd now, chicken wing. What a
we have to bear in mind that Flip has already pitted, so we just have to see where he in Slot Pete is going to end up after Pete has done his pit stop.
Well, there's lots and lots of seconds between them, and I see that Stefan is now coming into the pits, and we know that Pete is going to run a long race. He'll probably only pit with the last between 7 to
3 laps or so.
Yeah. I was going to say 7 minutes, so that's just pushing those 3 laps. That's definitely his style. Freshie now up into 6th place, but I do think that is not enough too late. And Ryan just needs to bring it home, and Ryan will be the new championship leader, and not only leader, championship winner.
Wow.
Just having a look at the pit stops, it looks like 30 Okay, so it's quite long. It's almost 45 seconds that you lose in a pit stop. Are you giving the option for tires or no tires, or do they have to all put on new tire?
We decided that you go into the pits, the car has to be jacked up. Whether you put tires, whether you put fuel is up to you. With us having quite a longer race, the 40 minutes, we do have the time progression on 5 times. So it does make it a little bit tricky. So the guys get to choose where they put the tires on. Do they add that extra seconds? Are they going to make it up? Adding 10 seconds to put the tires on is up to them. But generally, I don't like giving up the time in the pits adding tires, and I'd rather just nurse the car home.
Yeah, you lose a lot of seconds if you put on some tires.
I suppose that also is that it changes from car to car. So your car choices, one car might be better on tires than the other, and you could run longer and less fuel, or longer and more fuel, or it adds quite a interesting dynamic to a race, especially when you force a pit stop.
And I must say that Carl, over the last couple of seasons, we really have the pit stops in. But as we started adding them back in, all it does is it just brings the field back together. Also, if you have like a little bit of a bad moment and you drop down the order, you use that as almost your get out of jail free card, have your pit stop, and then it gives you some clear track to start trying to fight back again.
Yeah, so then we see
that's coming in for his pit stop.
So there goes Steven Koenig into the pits. He will go and get his pits done. And Dion out in front in the sky-coloured Ferrari. 11 laps, and we do have 17 minutes to go. I forgot to reset the server. So let's just reset the server. So to the guys, Alpha Tier, I will cut down the practice just a little bit so that we can get cracking. It gives us 20 minutes, so at least we'll get in there.
Having a bit of a tough job there, Dylan, having to change everything over and commentate and watch the race. And also, while you're at it, could you please be our cameraman at the same time?
Oh, sure, but yes. I keep forgetting about that. Okay,
just having a look there at Steve. He's only a second behind whoever RVR 18S and VL is.
So that is Ronaldo. And Ronaldo is pushing really hard.
Yeah, look like just trying to stay with that freshy car there, up into 5th now. So that's obviously more than enough to tie up the championship and call it a day.
Yes, absolutely. I see Ryan has already done his pit stop and he is in front, way in front of. Yeah, so that gap is just increasing the whole time. So I think we are looking at a new championship winner.
It's absolutely so crazy because I just look at some of the guys that have been able to put the times in. Is that we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different winners. Can you believe it?
Wow!
Now that's what you call a competitive championship. Ronaldo is not letting this go though. He's right all over the back of that Ferrari as they head down into turn 1. So Ronaldo definitely not letting this happen easy. And with the championship on the line, where does Freshie have to finish to let it go?
He must finish first.
Freshie has to be ahead
at least ahead of Ryan.
Ryan has 6 points that he needed to make up. And where Ryan currently is, Ryan will be able to cash in on 42 points versus Freshie, who's in 5th. That's 12 points. So he will lose the championship by 6 points and essentially 1 position. So Freshie has to get himself into 4th place. They will tie in terms of points, but Ryan will win because he would have had the highest result in the most recent race.
I love it when a championship comes down to the wire.
The thing is, between 1st and 3rd place, there was a total of 22 points up for grabs, and Pete was a further 16 points down. But with Flip all the way down, now into 10th place, so Flip can only really secure himself 14 points versus Sly Pete, who effectively we're saying is in about 4th place. He's got 36 points there, which Unfortunately for Pete, is 2 points not enough.
So we have to make up another position.
So Pete has to make up another position. So there's
Big mistake
Ronaldo.
there from pressure getting Ronaldo getting straight past him. So the pressure working out there. So Ronaldo going up into 5th place with Freshie moving down to 6th.
And I see another little battle that is continuing. This is Brett chasing down Stephen. Stephen in 7th place in the very, very stable number Porsche. Number 69. It's fun times, if you know what I mean.
We know what you mean.
Let's not start this again. Come on now. Come on. Don't behave.
Time of the sex tape.
That's it. I'm going back to push the talk.
So
No,
guys,
there's only 13 minutes left.
13 minutes indeed, and Brett still trying to find a way to get himself ahead of Stephen, and you can see Stephen got his hands out of the rig, trying to wave himself along to try and get this car faster, but I don't think that Brett is going to just allow him to pull away. He's going to definitely be fighting him all the way to the end, and this is where the practice starts coming in. Do you have the BMT to take it all the way? That's a question we're all going to be asking Stephen.
Okay, there's Dion coming in the front runner, coming into the pits.
So we see Raider Cock from Luxembourg here has joined us, cold as F. We can just imagine how cold that is. Ray, thanks for joining us. And Rudy Van Heerden saying, guess who's back? Dion's back. Well, listen, at the way he's going, he might just get an automatic qualification into the Alpha tier. You can't just have him coming in here, winning a couple of races and then just staying in the Bravo tier. That's definitely not the way we operate. You've got to keep it nice and fair. So Dion in the pits is now out, and Sly Pete in 2nd place. And it all depends on that. Oh, that was Stephen going very wide. Brett sticking that Porsche, that Ferrari right up on the inside and taking a good line, but Stephen still managing to carry a little bit more speed around the outside.
Stephen must be sweating by now, because he had this pressure for how much? For half an hour already?
That is correct.
How's that for a race? Half an hour nose to tail. Nothing better. I can think of nothing better. After this, you get out of the rig, you feel like you've just done an actual race in a real vehicle. You're sweating, your hands, palms are sweaty. That's amazing. Nothing better.
Yeah, it sounds like he's nervous, but he's often ready to drop bombs, but he keeps on forgetting.
No, don't.
It looks like we were exactly correct with Pete's pit stop strategy. Yep. He's gonna come in with the last 7 minutes or last three laps remaining. So let's see if we're right.
Is that he needs about 35 to 40 seconds for that pit stop, and if I'm looking at the timing, once we get Ronaldo to cross that timing board, is that's just say 2 seconds, that's 7 seconds, that's 27 seconds. He might 27, that's like 32. He might come out in the middle of this battle between Brett. So it is extremely crazy of how close it is.
Also, bear in mind that he must make a perfect pit stop. He went into the pits now.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
That pit stop must be perfect.
If that Audi was red, the pit stop would be faster, I guarantee it. RS colours, all the way, bro. I really hope he has a good race, otherwise I'm going to have a difficult day at work tomorrow.
Pete is a good guy. I hope he's... Why is he so long in the pits? He's stuck. Oh, did he disconnect?
No, we've lost him. He's gone.
No, that's his 3rd position championship gone.
That's basically it, yes.
Oh man, that's a pity.
Because he would have come out in 4th place. And judging by 4th place, that would have given him 36 points. And now we've got Flip, who's essentially promoted up into 9th. So down in 10th place, that's 10th place is 12, 14. Pete would have got it by 2.
Yep.
No.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, that's going to kill him.
That is so unfair, man.
Well, that is one of the difficulties of online racing. I suppose we have mechanical failures in the real world, and here we have server issues
Yep.
and connection
We had
failures.
in our Alpha tier race just before this one on Paul Ricard, we had our front runner. He made a pit stop, but the game didn't register that pit stop, so he had to go in again, and that lost him his first position.
Yep.
That's very bad luck.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. But it is something you have to deal with, I suppose, in the virtual world. I mean, can't all be easy, can it? You can't all go winning races from the armchair. There must be some sort of difficulty.
Something. Yep, 100%.
And look at this, guys, is still at each other now for how much? For more than the 33 minutes already.
So, and to the guys who are watching, I have been meaning to just to go touch on the other drivers, but it is just so close between these two that I don't want to.
He's definitely looking for a cutback here.
Where is Stephen?
That's a good run. He's got a great run out of there. Oh, it decides better to take a dive down here into the sweep, because this is where it could go all sorts of ugly.
But now if he's able to just hit a little bit of a late braking, climb that curb on the inside, get the power on early, jump in the slipstream, move to the inside, and he should be able to make a very late lunge into turn number 7. But now I see Stephen going very defensive. So will he try the cutback here? No, he doesn't, but they are nose to tail going through the Schumacher S's. And I'll tell you what, I was trying to hear whether there was a lift there. It didn't sound like it, so that car is definitely holding through there. I hope all the Alpha tier guys are listening. I will be flat through the Schumacher S's later. So, Carl, what actually happened 2 weeks ago is that we had the Bravo tier ran at Paul Ricard. As we were all getting in, the Alpha tiers were getting in, we had a complete server meltdown. All the Assetto Corsa servers went down, and
he just ran into the back of Steve. Sorry, but he just literally ran into the back of Steve. Oh, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, it's server issues.
Yeah, so we had to run a double header this evening. So we did unfortunately lose some of the drivers in the Alpha tier. That's because not driving all from South Africa is that currently watching Brett. He's in Australia, and Freshie, he's a student at school. He actually cuts his class. And it all depends on what class he's taking for the day, whether he cuts it or not, and comes racing with us instead of being in his varsity.
Shh, don't tell his mom.
No, she's not watching. She's at work.
Okay, good. Just checking. So some international drivers joining the SARCO series. That's amazing.
So we're literally running through, I'd say, 4 continents.
Yep.
That's
got a Scotsman.
unbelievable.
We've got a Greek,
We've got a Greek.
Australian, American.
That's brilliant. That's absolutely insane to do that as a sim community. Ooh, there was a full thing.
Wide, so that's
He's going to stay there.
Brett's going to be able to get the run down. He'll have
Come
the
on, go, Steve. Wow.
Oh, good drive.
This
Steve
is
goes
entertainment.
defensive though. Is he going to get the switch back up into the sweep? If they go side by side through the sweep, there's going to be tears. No, they think better of it. See, clever drivers.
Okay,
M&R, they are
Very
in the
clever.
bush.
I have to say I want to jump off, but I don't really need to, because this is absolutely fantastic driving between these two. And I do want to commend every single driver here racing with us, is that it has been extremely clean. Just the level of racing has been absolutely fantastic, specifically in the series. Very few incidences. We've actually not had one that was reported. There was a few that we saw, and we did have to just address it, but it was all apologies were taken, and we carried on driving, and that's what we wanted.
I've just gotten a WhatsApp from Peter Heyman, and he said to me he spun, and well, he didn't say he spun. There's another word before that I won't say on here. He spun.
Coconutting spun.
Yeah, he coconutting spun and took someone out, and he's busy being sworn at.
No, man.
So he said, he returned to the garage and quit. He says he thinks that either second or third place hit him when he spun. Honest mistake. He's right.
Well, Pete, if you are listening, apologies. That has unfortunately cost you third place. So very, very unfortunate there.
Third place in the championship. Ferrari getting very excited with all the lights on at the moment behind Steve. I think he's getting sick and tired of looking at the back end of that Porsche. As good looking as it is, I think after half an hour it starts getting a bit boring.
I think Peter should have just carried on because it's much better to say sorry than ask permission.
Ask for forgiveness, yeah.
And permission.
Yeah.
Guys, I just wanted to just jump here quickly. I know that the Stephen and Brett battle has been absolutely encompassing of all our time. But here we've got
Is that Duppy behind Ryan?
That is exactly what's happening.
Wow.
He is within a second, so you might be able to take a place from him.
He's a lot closer than a second at the moment.
If that happens, we might have to just calculate the points here, because that might put Ryan in third.
Wow.
42 points.
Ryan almost finished in the gravel trap there into the chicane there. Doopy getting a little bit late to the brakes, almost sent him straight off.
That will be a 6-point difference between Ryan if Doopy gets ahead of him. So far, Ryan just needs to bring it home. And even if Doopy pushes for that position, Ryan must just let him go, not fight him, and rather just bank the points to win that championship.
Yeah, the clever game is always just to let the faster car go and finish in third. You know where your championship is, but I have yet to meet a racing driver that wants to do that.
Yeah, but he's racing there. He doesn't know what the points are like, and
that's the thing.
He might be
He
scared.
is fighting for every single point.
And Duppy is actually doing very good here. He was just not.
He seems a lot quicker than that
Messes
Bentley
up.
at the moment, and the Bentley does get a little bit tired on tires towards the end of a long stint. So, depending on when he stopped and whether he put on tires or not, that Porsche might be a little bit better suited for fast laps at the moment as opposed not to. But or he's going defensive. Oh no, I thought it looked like he was, but he's not. But that Porsche is definitely close enough to have a lunge down into turn one. They're going to break it like just after or just before the 100-meter mark. Hard on the brakes. Very narrow. He's not going to get a drive out at all. How he kept that on the circuit is beyond me, though. He's still got the inside front left hand. He's going to make it stick.
Awesome, Duppy.
Well
Awesome.
done, Duppy. That was an absolute crack of a move. Duppy now up into second place. And I'm sure Ryan is feeling that pressure now, knowing that he has lost a position. Only 2 positions between himself and the current championship leader. But whether he knows it is enough or not, that's the question.
Yeah, Duppy definitely turned his ABS up to 100 and still on the brakes with both feet there. That was a lunge and
That was an excellent move.
So guys, 42 seconds left, and we can just jump to our race leader as he starts completing this lap. This is as I say, this is the final lap. 30 seconds, it's just about halfway, so this might be the final lap. Yep. Only 20 seconds left, so he won't be able to get another lap in.
I'm sure everybody behind him is very glad for that. Some are actually rather upset. They're just one more lap. Just one more lap.
So I am still seeing this battle. Let's just wait for our race leader to cross the line. So Dion crosses the line and takes another victory here in the SARCO Bravo tier. And Brett and Steven, look at that, are
Still at each other.
Absolutely fantastic.
Hammer and tongs for half an hour to try and get a move stuck. I wonder if you're going to see some desperation. Oh, they're all over the track.
We're definitely going to see some. Oh, there's a little bump.
There's a tag. Aero is going to be a little bit tapping. Rubbing his racing, as they say. They've only just started this lap, have they not?
So, yes, because now they're heading towards turn number 6. Another lap for these guys as Duppy crosses line. He's in second place. Ryan's in third. Ronaldo, he'll take that fourth place. Freshie, our current championship leader, in fifth, will now cross the line. And it is unfortunately not enough. Brett trying to go around the outside down the bottom section of the track through turn number 7. He's going to need a really good run up the hill here if he wants to try and make a move into turn number 10. but definitely not an overtaking opportunity. The only time, or only place I see him making an overtake would be going into turn number 13, into the chicane. But if he doesn't get that drive out of 11, there's not going to be any option there.
Oh, but he's close time. Oh, he made a massive mistake over the curb, and I think that kind of concludes this battle for the rest of the race.
Absolutely.
He's definitely not close enough now to have a lunge in any way, shape, or form. They're heading up towards the chicane now, I think, and that gap is way too far to have a lunge. You just got to hope that Porsche makes a mistake through here, grabs too much curb, because we all know that Porsche hates curbs.
Listen, Steven's driving a green number. That thing is designed for the curbs.
Well, that's off to Steven there. Yes, you have to have that pressure the whole race. Yeah, yes.
Also, a great race. Oh, there, Steven just binned it.
Over the line. Celebratory binning. Good job.
Oh, I didn't get to get those positions.
I'm sure somebody will.
So guys, thank you very much for joining us. We are just going to do a very, very quick commentator and driver swap. Carl, thank you so much for joining. We're going to have Steven Koenig in the commentator's box now for the Alpha tier, which will be happening shortly. And if you'd like to stick around, you're more than welcome to.
Thanks a lot, Carl, for joining.
My absolute pleasure, as always.
Dylan, are you going to excuse me?
Clearly not. He's already off the headphones and the mic. You've been forgotten.
So I'm also out here to prepare myself.
Enjoy.
Okay, cheers.
luck.
Thanks, Carl. Thanks, man. Bye.
Steve Koenig.
Hello.
Oh, coming with the radio voice are we now? Hello, Steve. How are we?
I'm at least not sounding like the Joker at this point. Oh, wow. Excuse me.
You got a bit of a sweat on there after that race.
Just a tad, eh? Just a tad. Just one of those things. No, it was a brilliant race. And well done to the leaders who were absolutely giving it horns as well. So everyone really had a good run there. But I mean, absolutely incredible. I'm blown away. But let's have a chat to our guys. We've got in the box. We got Reinico, who did incredibly well and with a latest strategy. So well done to him as well. So guys, how was the Bravo tier? Let's start with Ryan. Ryan, how are you feeling there?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. I'm a little bit disappointed with the last 10 minutes, but it was actually nice to be racing in front for a change, changing the strategy from the early pit stop and just putting in fast laps to actually sticking it out there with the guys. It was lekker. Good bunch of races, good bunch of drivers.
Definitely not your easiest race, and you had some very close calls on the circuit. And let's head Doopy. I mean, wow, you had a bit of a fun run in your race.
Yeah, enjoyed it. I had an early pit strategy as well, not as early as some of the other guys. But the race went well. I span off once. Don't know what the hell I did. Lost concentration there for a moment or two. But other than that, the last couple of laps with Ryan, that was quite exciting. Other than those few minutes, I didn't really have any competition.
No, but that is the Bravo tier, and definitely you guys put on a performance that is well worth for Alpha tier. So thank you very much, and hope you're ready for next season, as the drivers are going to be very, very hungry to come after you.
Yeah, definitely. Ryan, well done. I'm proud of you, lad.
Yeah, thanks, Loopy. It's lucky to be racing with you. I mean, I've always seen you as one of the top guys, so it's nice to actually see your number plates in the distance.
Yeah, great stuff.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we're getting ready to go into our alpha tier.
Cheers,
And,
chaps.
cheers, guys.
Right,
Thank you very
cheerio.
much.
Thanks, guys.
But
Bye-bye.
feel free if you want to join in with the chat. So a couple of the cars ready. We're just going into the server just a little bit early. But exciting time for the alpha tier. This is it. The grand finale, ladies and gentlemen, of our alpha tier. The final round of the Thursday ACC Championship, brought to you by CT Auto Electrical and SARCO. Guys, who is ready for this? Who is ready for this intense action? The battle of note. The final round of it all. I want to see you guys in the chat there. I see a lot of love went to the Bravo tier. Guys, from the Bravo tier, thank you so much for the love there. And every single one of the drivers do appreciate it. So absolutely awesome work. As we're just busy getting into the server, they're going to be going for their qualifying. And for anyone that doesn't know, and I think Dylan would like to hear this actually, I was actually on safe setup complete, and your Porsche handles so much better on safe setup.
Well, that's the problem, it's safe, it's not fast.
It was very fast. The Schumacher S's were very quick. But ladies and gentlemen, so handed over the keys with a little bit of spoiler damage from a McLaren taking a big knock on me on the start. But he managed to get it fixed, and now it is time for Dylan to make or break it. It is time for the championship. Will Gerard be able to go and take the surprise win? Will Jakes come back with a... Jacques be able to come back with a fight? And will Jakes go and push his teammate to the limit? Right here at Nürburgring, part of our SARCO GT3 Racing, brought to you by CT Auto Electrical, finest electrical company. If you are on Facebook, like our page, and lots of news as we got in the chat. Currently working with Simstuff on something big for us, so definitely keep an eye on the social media pages and keep an eye on YouTube as well, as we're going to be showing it all off. So lots to come. I am super excited to see what is to come in 2021 for the GT3s. But we still got Monday, which is our Porsche Euro Cup, the final race for them, and that will be the final race for us here at SARCO, and we are absolutely excited. We are thrilled to see this. And Nikki Pearson saying, "Good luck, Yanneman, JJ, the Greg. Hold all my fingers and cross the toes for your race." I love to see that. So we got Nikki going and supporting Greg. So that's awesome. All right. So Nikki, I've been asked by Dylan, are you supporting him, or are you playing with a voodoo doll at this moment with him? He's waiting intensely, so I'm waiting on your comment here, Nikki. Dylan has asked, I'm waiting on the comment. Are you supporting Dylan? Or is the little voodoo doll now coming into play? So we're waiting for the comments here. Guys, I love to see it. Who's going to get this, ladies and gentlemen? Who is having a brilliant time? We have pulled out all the stops, and this is going to be absolutely incredible. Dion van Heerden, thanks for the support. Rudy and Luca, much appreciated. Dion, it's been absolutely brilliant having you around. And if you are free and you want to have a bit of fun, why don't you come to the Combox? It is open. It is open to the drivers. Bravo tier, we want you guys here. And we want to have you guys in here. Okay, Nikki says that she supports you because you're a boss, but she demands a raise if you don't win, if you don't come second in the championship. Okay, I'm getting nasty fingers pulled at me. So that says something, but they jump into qualifying. So let's go take a look how they are doing in qualifying. And this is it. Nürburgring. We saw Bravo Tier absolutely nose to tail right through the race. Guys really pushing each other to the limit. And now we're going to see what they can do come into the race. Unfortunately, losing a bit of connection there, but we'll get back into it. Absolutely incredible. Guys, show the love for the tier. The alpha tier. I want to see you guys showing all the love for the alpha tier, because this is going to be incredible from every single one of them. If you're in the Bravo tier, please come up to the commentary box. We would love to have you here. Come have a chat. Come and enjoy the final race of our alpha tier. And it looks like we're having a slight bit of connection issues. We'll get that resolved. So we'll be right back, just sorting out some connection issues. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, looks like we cleared up some of our connection issues. We are going to be getting into the server to check their qualifying. So far they are just on their opening laps trying to get a feel of the vehicles to battle their way around. And yep, if you guys are in the chat from the Bravo tier, please jump across. Love to have a chat to you guys. If you want to watch the Alpha tier, give your comments and show a bit of live support for your fellow drivers for the final race of the Alpha tier. And the previous race we saw major upsets and absolutely incredible, with Gerard pulling out the win. Jarks Racing unfortunately getting that pit stop not registered. That will hurt his points just a tad, but he is going to be doing everything he can. So Nikki, let's see if your boss will be able to get it going. But definitely the... So Yellowman is your boss. Okay, so Yellowman is your boss.
Green light, go, 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 go.
Okay, fair enough. Right. Jump in. Ladies and gentlemen, so far there's Gerard. He won the last race and is now looking to make an impact on the final race. Right behind him is Jacques. Had a little bit of a rough time, but he is back in behind the wheel. And he's looking to make an impact right here. We got Creeping Apple. We got Ventress. And that is our Chasing Beaver, who's going to be stomping around the circuit. There we go, the person you want to take a look at. Yellowman heading around the circuit. Alexander coming out with an absolute flash bomb and really making an impact here. Then we have got Monster, going to have him back in. Right behind him is Ryan Assange, launching his way around the circuit with his troop. So as the time starts coming through, Marshall up into third place. First place goes to Ferrat. Second place goes to Paul. Third place is Marshall. Jake's getting in fourth place. Jacques getting fifth place so far. But take a look at the difference between Ferrat and Paul. 6 and is absolutely nothing at this point. The guys are really giving it that absolute ball for the final time. They're going to be careful for turn 1. We saw in the previous race the guys battling in turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, a little bit nudging and barging as guys battle their way around. You can get an incredible start, but it can get into serious tears. The guys are really giving it everything they got. So everyone in the chat, YouTube, Facebook, I can see every single one of you. I want you guys to put in top. So, Niku supporting Yanaman, JJ the Craig, who's currently lying in 6th place, Bianca, Dion Van Heerden, everyone. I want to see everyone's strategy. I want everyone to put in the support to these drivers for the final time. It's like 24 minutes left on this qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. 4 minutes. That's it. Done. Dusted. And I can tell you, okay, so the commentary is a little bit soft. Don't worry, we'll sort that out. So, just tell me if this is a bit better. Hopefully that is a bit better, and we are sorted. So just let me know in the chat, Facebook and YouTube, are you hearing me enough? Does it sound better? As we go through, Simstuff Racing taking the impact 155, and he is ahead of Paul. Paul managing to still hold that 2nd place. Ferrot deciding 3rd place is very good for him, so he's going to keep on with that position. Dylan moving up to 4th place, Ryan to 5th, Jake's in 6th, we got Marshall in 7th, Alexander still pushing himself in 8th, Yanaman in 9th, Creeping Apple in 10th, and then we've obviously got Ventress, the Chasing Beaver. You can see him turning his steering. He's going to be heading out onto the circuit to have a bit of fun out there, so he's going to be really pushing himself. So this is it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, the final race. And Jan Duplessis, Dion, well done with your P1. Okay, so Facebook's still struggling a little bit. Let's see. Alright, hopefully that is a little bit better as we battle for the final time right here. Nürburg. What a way to end it, ladies and gentlemen. The final race of the ACC GT3, proudly brought to you by SARCO and CT Auto Electrical. There is so much to come, ladies and gentlemen, and I can tell you, every single person is ready to have an absolute ball. Alright, as we're going to be kicking it off and get ready to rock, roll and rumble right here. Jacques still leading out the race, followed by Raymaster, who's pulled off. That's Paul. He's decided to pull in the pits. Gerard in the pits. Dylan still giving it everything he got in the green Mamba. Right behind him is Ryan, who's still battling out, and you can see taking a little bit deep on turn 1. Then he's got his part. Then Jake's part of the green Mamba team, lying in 6th place. We got Marshall. We got Alexander in 8th. Yanaman in 9th. Creeping Apple in 10th, and Ventress in 11th. And absolutely incredible. And I love to see the support here. Dion with the position 1 absolutely had a great time. So Dion, fantastic to have you here. And Johan Duplessis as well, going and saying thank you. This is the love we love to have you. Dion, if you really want, bud, I'd really appreciate it to have you in the commentary box for the final time right here at Nürburg for the Alpha tier. So Dion, if you want to, bud, it would be an absolute honor to share the mic with you right in our Discord, and it will be to everyone in Bravo. I want to get the Bravo guys coming and having a chat, watching this race. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a share the link. 15 seconds left of the qualifying. We're going to be jumping in to the race, and oh my, this is it, the final time, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to be jumping out. The server is going to drop for us, and then we are going to be heading into it. So any of the Bravo guys, we'd love to have you. Dion, Johan Duplessis, we'd love to have you coming in to join us in the comm box for the final time. It will be an absolute honor to have you guys here. And guys, this is it, the last race. Freshy Racing. Let's go, Project Wetcat Racing. I love to see that. You did incredibly well in your race, and now you're going and supporting the Alpha Tier drivers. This is what it is, Sarco. This is what it is. A team, a community that supports. So if you want to be part of this community and you want to come race with us, it's incredibly easy. Go and look up www.sarco.co.za. SARCO Racing. And go and join us. Come and join us. Come join our Discord server. There's lots of fun to be had. And make sure you like our Facebook page. And also subscribe and hit that bell notification icon for our YouTube page. But I love to see that. Let's go, Project Wet Cats. And this is it, ladies and gentlemen. As the guys are getting ready to go, we're going to be starting to get into the server. Kunos hasn't quite put some work into the PlayStation as yet, but they're not going to forget about the little PlayStation, which has been a major factor. This is it, ladies and gentlemen, as they on their way for the rolling. The formation lap is underway, but it does look like we are battling a bit here. So unfortunately we're going to have to be dropping out. And the race is underway. The guys all trying to battle their way around. Unfortunately, we lost a bit of connection, but we are going to be jumping back in. All the drivers seemingly made it through turn one, as they really give it everything they got for the final lap. Freshy going and saying formation lap underway, and now let's go racing, supporting Wet Cats. And let's see what they can do. Jacques is in first place, followed by Paul Gerard in third place. Fourth place is Dylan. Ryan in fifth place. Alexander in sixth. Jake's lying in seventh. Marshall lying in eighth at the moment. They all just pushing as hard as they can to try and keep going. Remember, they still have one mandatory pit stop, and we saw that turned into a major factor when Jacques battled with his pit stop and had to make a second unplanned pit stop. So he tried running away as much as possible, and unfortunately wasn't enough, and it got past. Then he had to try and duke it out with Dylan, and really had to fight his way up to the top. So the guys are having to work really hard to keep it all together, and the pressure is on, and you can feel the tension that is in the air between these drivers. Even the Discord, ladies and gentlemen, the Discord for the Alpha Tier is usually very busy. The guys chat a lot, joke a lot, say thanks so very much. This time was quiet, and that just shows the focus that every single one of these drivers have. And Freshy saying, what a move by Rainmaster into Schumacher curves. So he's keeping an eye on it. And there we go. We back into the stream as we get in. It looks like Dylan involved in an accident. Dylan and Ryan, unfortunately, taking massive impact. So Dylan's gone down. Jacques in first. Paul in second. Gerard in third. Jake's in fourth. Creeping Apple in fifth. Ventress into sixth. Seventh place is Marshall. Eighth is Ryan. Dylan in ninth, having to battle his way up. Yanneman pulling into the pits early, and so is Alexander. They pulling into the pits early. So Wing going and saying, go Marshall. and that is Chasing Beavers. That is it, the Chasing Beavers definitely on a charge here tonight, and making some history in it as well. So really great racing going on, but the bit of a close battle seems to be going on between Paul and Gerard at the moment, and also a little bit further down, Creeping Apple and Venture still duking it out between each other as well. So those guys are starting to have a bit of a close run. You can see how hard he's having to push that Mercedes around. The front engine definitely going to have a straight line horsepower, but through the more technical curves, he's going to lose out a little bit to the Lamborghini, which is a little bit more easy to turn around. So the guys are really having to battle their way around the circuit and give it everything they got. You can see Gerard really laying on the pressure onto the back of Paul as much as possible. Paul has been racing quite a bit in all forms of racing that you can get into in the esport community. Then you got Gerard, who's just an absolute perfectionist in his drives, and he really wants to battle it on. Right behind him, very close battle between Jake's, Creeping Apple and Ventress. So Jake's climbing up a ladder, he's in 5th place, Creeping Apple in 4th, and he's really doing everything he can. Nice to see the Lamborghini really putting on the pressure here, but Jake's part of the Green Numbers is going to lay on the pressure and lay on the hate right now to try and get as close as he can to that Lamborghini. Looking to go hard on the brakes. Gets his nose unfortunately chopped off by the Apple, and now has to try and battle his way through. You can see how hard Jake's getting into the toe, trying to pull himself along and looking inside, outside, gets very close. Oh, a little bit of a nudge there, and that's it. Apple goes off the circuit. Jake's going and slowing down. You know what? It's nice to see Jake's is slowing. He's waiting for Apple. Apple going into reverse, so trying to get back onto the circuit. So not the way we wanted to see a very close racing, but unfortunately that has put an end to that little dice there, and has opened up for Ventress to make a bit of headway. And right behind him is the Chasing Beaver Marshall, who is in 7th place and is really battling his way up. He wants to try and push as hard as he can right now. And a little bit dropping a wheel on the dirt, not ideal, but needs to keep going. And Ryan in the pits, he's got a bit of damage on that car, so he's having to do a lot of work onto it. Not what he wants. Dylan trying to make up a bit of ground, managing to get past Apple after that accident, but he now has to go after his teammate Jake's in a Bentley. Now remember, there's no team orders between them, so if they give it everything they got, and they will give it everything they got, there's no free easy road for Dylan to get by. Despite where he is in the championship, he's got to work past it, and Jake's is going to make sure it's going for that #1 driver spot between the two of them. It is Pride coming in. Ahead of him is Marshall. Chasing Beavers really showing what they can do, and Wing really putting in the support there. Love to see this, and love to see Wing. You can do this, Marshall. Hashtag Chasing Beavers, his whole strong arm, and that's exactly what we want. Oh, it looks like Apple once again managed to lose himself, and now has to just wait for the grid to come by. He's really battled with that Lamborghini after the hit, and I think they've sustained some damage that is making the car very, very difficult to take some of these corners. Dylan's trying to climb up through the ranks. Marshall now managing to get by, and is really giving it everything he's got. He's only 2.9 seconds behind Venture, so he's really giving it everything he's got to try and make up that bit of ground. The Mercedes, though, absolutely going like clockwork, is 8 seconds behind Gerard. Gerard is actually a second off Paul, so he is really trying to get onto the back of him and push as hard as he can to get onto the back. So this is going to be a turn of events for the two of them. Remember, they are fighting for points. That is absolutely critical for the championship. So they need to really stick it out and really make the best that they can. Most points is going to take the championship here for second place. And Jacques pulling out an early lead, 6.8 seconds. So he's running away with this. Wet Cat's doing everything he can. And it looks like Apple has gone. So Apple has unfortunately disconnected, and it's an absolute shame to see that, and not the best way to end the racing. So Freshly, my heart goes out to them. Not the way you want to end the final race, but definitely Apple has put on a fantastic show. Was 7th in the championship before coming into the doubleheader, and really performed well in the last race, but unfortunately this race was not to be. So if Apple, if you're watching, bud, we'd love to have you in the commentary box and come have a chat to us. We'd love to have you as the alpha tier. Come and join us. You guys are the standards we want to reach. And let's get back to the racing. Marshall trying to catch up to the back of Ventures. He's 2.6 seconds, so he has made up a little bit of ground, but is losing a bit on the straight. Ventures has got more top end than the Lamborghini, and they're going to have to really push themselves going up. 31 minutes of the race so far, and they've got 30 more minutes to go of the race, and the guys are really doing everything they can to try and battle their way up through the grid. Gerard 2.5 seconds behind Paul, so he's really hammering it out, trying to catch up to the back of that Bentley. And one thing with the Porsche, you can't hook the curbs as much as you want to, where Paul will be able to ride those curbs because Bentley goes brr, also known as a Boatley in the esport community because of its wide size, and it can go everywhere you want it to go. Marshall still pushing as high as he can. Right behind him though, 5.9 seconds is Jakes with his teammate 10.7 seconds. So Dylan has got some serious damage, and just taking a look over to Dylan's screen, he has got 16.3 seconds of damage to repair on that car, and you can see it's looking a bit worse for wear. That bonnet is not a happy camper, and that suspension, you can be sure that is going to be a difficult one. Jacques now making his way through. Freshly going and saying coming up on some traffic. That is very true. Thank you, Freshly. So Jacques trying to really climb his way through here, and is battling his way around. He's got Ryan to get past, and he's just got to try and make his way around the traffic without compromising himself too much, because one major slip and he's got Paul, and he has got Gerard on him as well. So the guys are really pushing as hard as they can to try and make up a bit of time here. And it looks like Dylan is in the pit, so he's pitting to do his mandatory pit stop, and also looks to be doing a couple of bit of work on the car as well to ensure that he can get up and going once again. Marshall trying to make his way around, and the guys are really pushing it to the absolute limit here, ladies and gentlemen. They are not hanging around for the final race, and you can see how hard this race, very taxing for the final round. Emotions really built up for every single one of these drivers to perform and get themselves up and going, and Dylan is back out now. So Dylan's done an earlier stop, so he's one of 3 guys that have done a stop so far, and that's Dylan, Janneman and Ryan that have pitted so far. So maybe they'll be able to pull up a few positions as they go around when Jacques, Paul, Gerard, Ventures, Marshall, Jakes all have to pull in the pits. So now it's a little bit of a long game here, ladies and gentlemen. Who is going to pit next as they fight their way through? You can see Jacques trying everything he can. He needs to try and get past Ryan as much as possible. Ryan goes out wide, does let Jacques put through. So nice pass there, and well done to Ryan. Great awareness actually coming into play, letting the faster guy go, not going to mess anything around. Wing going and supporting Marshall, doing everything he can. Marshall is 3.3 seconds behind Venture, so he is losing a little bit of time, so he has to try and find out where to get a bit more drive. He knows that the Lamborghini can do it, so he has to try and push his way right to the top there as they battle their way around. So Project Wetcat Racing doing it very, very well so far. And we've also got the Chasing Beavers, who are really pushing themselves to the limit here to keep on going. So every single one of these drivers are looking to make an impact, and you can see Marshall still 3.3 seconds. We'll have to see after the sector how close he is to Ventress. 2.9, so he has made up a bit of ground here. So the Chasing Beaver is really going after this man over here. That's Ventress. You can just see him in the background. So Marshall is starting to gain as much as possible. He's just trying to get into the toe, really trying to sling that car around, and that's where the difficulty comes in. Late on the brakes and managing to keep it going. You can see how hard he's really pushing it. So the Chasing Beaver trying to catch up to this man over here. That's Ventress, part of the Chasing Beavers. So these two are teammates that are going after each other and really looking to do everything they can. Really trying to power their way up. So the Chasing Beavers looking to square up against each other. Bentley versus Lamborghini. Who is going to get it? And remember, they still have one pit stop to go. And that's going to change the tide of battle a lot. And really try and climb up through the ranks. Dylan lying in 8th place. Ryan in 10th place after the 9th place after the two collided. And definitely not the way they thought their race was going to be. Now it's all about keeping your head down, focusing, and keep on going. But the battle between these two is starting to heat up. As you can see, Marshall now starting to get into a groove, sees the number plate of interest. Now this is where the battle is going to be between the Chasing Beavers. So, Wing, this is it. Which one of the Chasing Beavers do you support? Is it going to be Ventress, or is it going to be Marshall? I see a lot of Marshall, so I'm going to take a guess here, but prove me wrong. Absolutely amazing. 0.9 seconds between them, so Marshall is definitely in the toe now, trying to pull himself along and just get as much momentum as possible to get past Ventress. You can see how hard he's having to really push that Lamborghini, gets into the toe. Ventress goes wide though. Ventress is off the circuit and managing just to hold it. So really battling to hang it on. This is it. The Chasing Beavers now squaring off for bragging rights between the two of them with 24 minutes and 33 seconds left of the race. This is turning into it, ladies and gentlemen. The final round of the Alphas. The final round of the Assetto Corsa Competizione Alpha race, brought to you by SARCO and CT Auto Electrical. But Marshall pulling into the pits. He's decided he's going to get that pit stop done and dusted. He's going to let Ventress go a little bit, but he knows he will have that pit stop done and dusted underneath his belt. Now he will be able to focus to get going once again and make up some ground. But is he going to be able to keep it ahead of Jakes? Jakes is starting to make his way around. So it's going to be close. So Jakes is starting to push it now. Jakes doesn't know that Marshall's in the pits. He is on the back straight, so he's quite far back. So unless Marshall has some repairs to do, or he's changing tires, or putting in quite a bit of fuel, he's going to lose our time. Jakes is starting to catch up, ladies and gentlemen. Is this going to be the major impact for Jakes? Gets on the power. He's on the start-finish line straight. And it looks like Marshall is just coming out of the pits. So who's it going to be between the two of them? Marshall just getting out. Jake's now having to come by. Jake's has got the drive. Gets past Marshall. So now Jake's ahead of Marshall. So this is turned into a battle. The Mumbas versus the Chasing Beavers. And I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, in the chats, in the discords, it has been Mumbas versus Beavers. And now we're seeing it right here for 5th and 6th place for the final race of the Alpha Tier. Who is it going to be? Will Mamba Fever take it ahead of the Beavers? We will have to see. The Chasing Beavers, they are chasing gold, and they don't want no Mamba Fever They've got their vaccines, but let's see how strong Mamba Fever comes in with Jake's battling it out here. Absolutely phenomenal. And Wing going, come on, Marshall. Probably on the edge of your seat, but I am on the edge of my seat watching this. They are so close to one another, and you can see how hard they are starting to push. 1.1 seconds, so Jake's running a little bit away here, but not enough, not a comfortable pace, because he just has to take his foot, and he'll lose out. Freshy saying, let's go Rain. So Freshy supporting, and Freshy saying, get past Sarge. So Sarge having a good battle around. So absolutely fantastic to see it. But guys, ladies and gentlemen, take a look at this. Gerard has pulled in the pits. He's in third place. He has completed his mandatory pit stop. Ventures, Paul, and Jacques haven't done it. Will he be able to do it? So once again, we might have Gerard pulling a rabbit out of the hat here. But let's go back to the battle at hand. That has been a war amongst millions at this point, and that is Chasing Beavers versus the Green Mambas. And as you can see, Jake still leading it out, followed by Marshall, who's 0.9 seconds, so really hanging it out there. Late on the brakes, you can see that Lamborghini getting a little bit squirrely, trying to put the power on and really force his way around. Jake's having to work really hard to keep that Bentley as defensive as possible. So Chasing Beavers now going after the Green Mambas. So close, 0.9 seconds, 20 minutes to go. And we saw these two can really battle it out in the last races, and now they are going to be duking it out. This is bragging rights here, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to see you guys in the chat, every single one of you on Facebook, every single one of you on YouTube. Will it be Mamba Fever, or will the will the Chasing Beavers build a dam that no snake can get round? Who's it gonna be? Wing, I want you guys, Wing, Freshly, I want you guys to put it in the chat here. Mambas or Chasing Beavers? The two teams, they have talked enough smack to each other all season long, have come to this penultimate round to duke it out. Gerard lying in 4th place, doing everything he can, and Gerard is part of Team Rockstars. We're just getting told that they have reached a halfway point. This is it, ladies and gentlemen, halfway. Wing saying Chasing Beavers all the way. Hot stuff. That is what I love to see. Bianca, everyone, I want to see you guys put it in there. Bubbles, I want you also in there to go and show your support. Who's it going to be? The Beavers, or will it be the Mamba? But the Mamba's fallen back, so that means Marshall is ahead of Jakes. Marshall's ahead of Jakes, 1.4 seconds. So this is going to be... And Wetcat Racing, well, Wetcat Racing is currently 12 seconds away. So Jacques pretty much sorted that one out freshly. He is absolutely run away. So Wetcats, well, Wetcats are doing what Wetcats do best. Dominate. That is for sure. That is absolutely brilliant. But take a look. We have got the Wetcats Racing. We've got Sharks and Paul, who haven't pitted, but they absolutely dominate. 1st and 2nd, Paul coming into the pits though, that might run into a little bit of an issue. Marshall, Wing going and supporting Marshall. We are down to 8 drivers. We've lost a driver here, ladies and gentlemen. So we got Ryan, we got Dylan, we got Greg, we got Marshall. Oh no. Oh no. Guys, it is too good. This is it. At the moment, Jakes has lost connection. That means that Marshall is ahead of the Mambas. Has the Beavers finally gotten ahead of the Mambas? But Wetcat Racing though, 1st and 2nd, Paul lying in 2nd place, and is making his way around. So freshly, I have not forgotten the Wetcats, but Wetcats are doing what they do best. Jacques and Paul absolutely dominating right here at Nürburgring. Smooth sailing all the way in the Boatleys. Ventress now into the pits. He's doing his pit stop. He's in third place, but right behind him is Gerard. So let's see. I think Gerard has gotten past. Yep, Gerard has gotten past. Ventress is now into fourth place. Our timing screen is a little bit slow, but absolutely what a turn of events, ladies and gentlemen, in the last 17 minutes. And you know, we love to see it. No hard feeling, members. Hashtag chasing beavers by wing. And you know what? The members are going to be back to fight the beavers once again. And the wet cats, they're going to be drinking champagne at this point if they can keep it clean. Jacques has definitely, he's gone through his whole setup, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 6 times, and asked his mates to take a look at it just to make sure that he will not run into any issues. He's the only car to pit. He still has to pit. He is ahead of his teammate, Paul, who is absolutely trying everything he can to catch up. So Jacques is really doing everything he can to keep ahead. Right behind them is Gerard, 3.8 seconds. So Gerard is duking Wet Cats right now, starting to make up a bit of ground. So will Team Rockstars be able to make the impact here and get ahead of the Wet Cats Racing? They are starting to catch each other. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we found out Chasing Beavers duking it out with the Mumbers. Now I want to ask you, Wet Cats versus Team Rockstar. Will Paul be able to keep ahead of this man right here, Gerard, who pulled a rabbit out of the hat? And looks like Dylan, losing out, and unfortunately has really struggled. So Dylan is pulled into the pit. And oh my heavens, Dylan going and saying that he has just lost force feedback in the steering. The steering has overheated, so unfortunately the Thrustmaster has gone and said enough is enough and got hot. An absolute heartbreak for the man right here. Jacques really giving it everything he's got right now. He's got Paul in second place. Third place is Gerard, who's 3.8 seconds behind. So the guys are really pushing each other, trying to do everything they can to keep going. Dylan trying to get some airflow over the steering wheel, hoping to get some force feedback back into the steering wheel to finish the race. And this is determination, ladies and gentlemen. He came out of it, had a rough race, but still wants to finish. So that is determination on his part. And Freshly saying gutted. So the guys are really having to work here. So guys, show the love here. This is determination for this man right here. Dylan heading out onto the circuit. Steering has next to no force feedback. It had none. And what I could see, that steering has got very little, if not no, force feedback coming through. But what he's doing is he's pushing. And Cornish saying, I wasn't disconnected, you retired. Oh my heavens. Not good to hear, unfortunately. Difficulty there, but we would love to have you in the comm box if you want to come in to have a chat. So Cornish, if you want to come have a chat with us, we are Coconuts, but we'd love to have you right here in our Discord. Come join me in the comm box for the last 13 minutes of that alpha. Come on, bud, let's have it. But guys, I want to see the love in the chat for everyone, for the man that's driving without force feedback at the moment and does not want to give up, and that is Dylan. Jacques now pulling into the pits, and is really going. Wing saying, you're Admiral, you know, keep going, Dylan. Absolutely fantastic. Jacques now in the pits. His teammate miles behind him though in second place. But his teammate has got to deal with Gerard over here, who's really giving everything he's got. But he's got Ventress really also chasing him down as well. So now they're fighting their way through and really doing it. So Jacques in the pit. It is cleared. He's happy now. Hopefully he doesn't get a stop go. Gets on the power and all is smooth sailing. Wickets going clean and having a good race. Absolutely phenomenal. But the chase is on. As you can see, Gerard really doing everything he can to make up some time to Paul. Wetcat Racing just doing everything they can. Dylan trying to hang in the toe and get himself pulled along. He doesn't want to interfere with the race too much, but he does want to at least cross the line. And this is it, ladies and gentlemen. The final race of the Alpha Tier. Absolutely wow. It has been a roller coaster ride for the GT3 Assetto Corsa, brought to you by SARCO and CT Auto Electrical. Tonight it has been an absolute roller coaster. It's not over yet. 11 minutes and 25. It ain't over until the fat lady sings. We know that. Every single driver knows that, and they are going to do everything they can to keep on going. So if any of the Bravo or Alpha guys that are out of the game, please come join me in the comment box. I want you guys to come join here. Come see the love coming from our SARCO fans out there right across the world. This is SARCO. This is who we are. We are not only racers, we are a community of passionate petrol heads for esports and for real sports out there. We want to have you guys. I want to see the love for these drivers. Everyone in the chat, Facebook, YouTube, guys, show your love. Put the hearts out there. 10 minutes left of our Alpha Tier as we go round for the final minutes of this race. The final race for the season for these guys. It is the second last race for the year, brought to you by SARCO. So I want to see that love in there. Put in those hearts in the chat. Put those strong arms. Support your drivers right to the end. Wetcats currently first and second. Team Rockstars in third place. We have got Ventress in fourth place, and he is part of the Chasing Beavers. Then we've got Marshall, who is really giving everything he's got. 6 seconds behind. We have got Yanneman, who is in 6th place and is giving it everything he's got with the support of his co-workers out there, which is absolutely brilliant to see. We have got Ryan lying in 7th place, but is pushing on, and we have got the head of SARCO, one of the main guys that has really gone and pushed the SARCO name forward, Dylan of Green Mumbas, lying in 8th. We have got 9 minutes. Show the love. Pick your drivers. Show those drivers some love. They go back and they watch this YouTube. They go and watch these streams. They want to see this. Nicky going, go, Yanneman. I love to see that. And he's going to see it. I'm going to make sure he sees it. But let's go. Let's give Yanneman a bit of love here. Lying in 6th place. Yanneman. JJ the Greg lying in 6th place. Really giving everything he's got. Then we have got Gerard, who's pushing it as hard as he can. 4.2 seconds right behind this man. Wetcat Racing lying in 2nd place. This is Paul, who is giving it everything he's got. Wing going and showing the love out there. I love to see this. Everyone, I want to see the love out there for these guys. This is our Alpha Tier. Jacques in 1st place. Paul in 2nd. So it is Wetcat Racing Project 1st and 2nd currently, right behind them. Team Rockstars absolutely giving it everything he's got and is pushing as hard as he can in 3rd place. But right behind him, despite force feedback issues, is Dylan, who's maintaining the pace. And he's lying in 8th. 4th place is Ventress, going and saying everything he can. He needs to keep going. Wing going, chasing Beavers and showing the love to the team. Absolutely love it. Then we have got Ventress and Marshall. They're together 4th and 5th. Greg in 6th, Ryan in 7th, and is pushing everything he's got. But take a look, and you can see Gerard 4.4 seconds, so he's losing major time to Paul. So he's really having to push it everything he has right here at Nürburgring as they battle their way around. These cars are absolutely giving everything they got. These drivers have done 80 minutes of racing, ladies and gentlemen. 80 minutes. Yes, they had the gap in the middle, but by that time they were in a practice server, still giving everything they got, refining till the last absolute point. These drivers have been doing everything they want. This is the end of their season. They want to go out with a bang and finish it, and you can see Gerard pushing as hard as he can, 3.7 seconds. So Gerard of Team Rockstars is by himself of the Rockstars and is doing everything he can, supporting the team, showing what they can do as he chases after Project Wet Cat Racing, Paul and Jacques, who is absolutely dominating. 17 laps in the race completed, and absolutely monstrous task between them. Gerard catching up to Paul, making up 2.7 seconds. Are we going to see Team Rockstars versus Team Wet Cats for second place, ladies and gentlemen? This is what it's going to be. Gerard versus Paul, and you can see as Paul comes across the line, Gerard is following suit, and so is Dylan giving chase as well. So Dylan is really trying to hammer it on here to try and make up a bit of time. This is our Alpha tier for the final time, brought to you by SARCO and CT Auto Electrical. If you want the finest electrical work, whether it's on your race car or whether it's on your normal car, go and look up CT Auto Electrical, and we have it in link in the description as well. One of our main sponsors right here. Absolutely incredible racing. Gerard losing a little bit of time, 3.0 seconds, so he's really trying to dig that car in. And the problem with the Porsche is over time it starts to lose a lot of its front end. The front scrubs off quite quickly versus a Bentley only having its rear starting to give. So he's having to really fight that car around. You can see how hard they are pushing, ladies and gentlemen. Gerard trying to go after Project Wet Cat Racing. Right behind them, Ventress and Marshall still going around. Ventress is currently 11.1 seconds ahead of his teammate and is just maintaining a gap at this point. Janneman 16.1 seconds behind Marshall, trying to make up a bit of ground. And there's Ryan, who's still trying to make up a bit of ground and doing everything he can. Dylan pushing as hard as he can at this point. No force feedback in the steering, and he's trying to keep on the back of Gerard. So Gerard is his target marker at this point. Gerard getting a little bit loose, 2.6 seconds behind, but lost a little bit of time by coming off the curb, and now has to do everything he can. Paul is making up some time, 33.5, so Jacques has backed off with 4 minutes left of the race, ladies and gentlemen, of our Alpha tier. 4 minutes left of our final race, Alpha tier SARCO GT3 Assetto Corsa Competizione, brought to you by SARCO and CT Auto Electrical. And this is where it's going to be. Will Gerard be able to pull out a rabbit out of the hat here and break the back of the Wet Cats in the front? And he is dragging Dylan by, so Dylan's also looking to try and have a fight despite having the problems. He's looking to do everything he can to make up a bit of ground. Gerard is 2.8 seconds, so he can make up a bit of ground here. He's going to have to push. Gonna have to push and brake very, very late. Hard on the brakes. Just managing to keep it all together. You can see those brakes are lighting up as he's really having to work on it to try and get that Porsche in. 2.7 seconds, so he is making up a bit of ground. Slowly but surely eating into that gap of Paul. And it's going to be very, very difficult. So ladies and gentlemen, everyone in the YouTube and Facebook chat, do you think Paul will be able to keep ahead of Project Wetcat Racing in second place and make it a 1-2? Or will the one and only Gerard of Team Rockstars be able to break the back of the Cats and get into second place? He is pushing as hard as he can with only 2 minutes and 29 seconds. These drivers have really been giving it everything they got. I mean, if you had to look at it, it is 10 o'clock, 8 minutes past 10. So these guys have been awake all day at work and jumping into a championship race like this, double header of 40 minutes each of driving. So that means it's 80 minutes in total. These guys have done so much. Dylan now starting to catch up to the back of Gerard. So Dylan might actually look for an overtake here in the last minute and 50 seconds. We might see a move here. Gerard trying to keep it all together. Does move over, let Dylan go. Very clever move. Doesn't want to duke it out and is rather going to try and use Dylan as a battering ram to make up positions. Dylan is moving a little bit faster in times, but now has to try and catch up to Paul, and that's where the difficulty comes in. Gerard is losing time to Dylan though. He's 1.8 to going 2 seconds behind Dylan, so he's lost time, he's lost a bit of pace there, but hasn't given up just as yet. But ladies and gentlemen, there we go, Project Wetcats. Oh, Jacques gets it completely wrong, goes off into the dirt, manages to hold it though. Big deep breath there from Jacques, and Paul now having to really give it everything he's got. So we have got everyone doing everything they can, and our leader is on the final lap. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to just follow him around. He started with the season with an absolute bang, been consistent in his driving, start to finish, every single race he's entered in the Alpha tier, and has really shown off what he can do. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, he's going to keep it together. He's going to come round, and I want to see all those hearts in chat. I want to see all that support, because ladies and gentlemen, right here, right now, what we are looking at is the one, the only, I love to say this, your championship winner of ACC GT3, brought to you by SARCO and CT Auto Electrical. It is Jacques of Project Wetcat Racing to take the overall win. I want to see the love for this, ladies and gentlemen. This is a major moment here in SARCO. It is our major first season of it, and wow, this is what we wanted to see. Racing nose to tail. Jacques had a difficult time in the first race of this double header, and he has really fought hard and did everything he can, but looking to go and take the win overall as he battles his way around. Guys, show him some love. Everyone in chat, put those hearts, put those strong arms. Here he is, your championship winner, making his way around the circuit and flashing those lights. He's absolutely ecstatic. It is Jacques to come across the line first of the SARCO GT3 Assetto Corsa Competizione. Absolutely. There we go. Nikki saying, well done, Jacques, with the win. This is what he wanted to see. The checkered flag. I actually think he has stopped on the line. He wants this moment to be made. Project Wetcat, first and second. The double header. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to show them off a little bit. Jacques and Paul of Project Wetcat Racing, first and second. Coming across the line. Here we go. Third place, and can be very happy with it. Team Rockstars, and really knows how to put on a party. Here is Gerard. Fourth place goes to the one and only Ventress of the Chasing Beavers. Right behind him, he's got and lost the bragging rights, goes to Marshall in 5th place. Yanneman lying in 6th place. 7th place goes to Ryan, and despite everything, the determination coming out, our leader of SARCO, of Green Mumbers, and the sole surviving Green Mumber on Nürburg, goes to Dylan. Bravo, man. Despite everything, you still fought it out there. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Let's put the other one. Let's show the love for every single one of these drivers. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is it. Our final race of Assetto Corsa Competizione SARCO GT3. And this is our Alpha tier. And let's see who's going to get the donuts. Who's going to do donuts? So Jacques in the pits. And Paul, try doing your donuts. So every single one of these drivers back into the pits. And wow. Absolute wow for every single one of these drivers. My heavens. Every single one of these drivers fought right until the end. The whole season has been a roller coaster for every single one of these drivers. And, man, oh man. But you know what? I think the right way to end the final race of the season has to go to our leader. Dylan, please come join in the comm box. Let's see that pretty face. I mean, come on. You got rid of the Movember. And let's have you in the chat here. We've also got our other guys joining into Discord. Jacques coming in. And Dylan, it is my honor to hand the mic over to Mr. SARCO.
Hello.
Hello, Jacques.
How's it?
I'm pressing funny buttons. I'm looking at Dylan. I can't hear Dylan.
He looks a bit confused there.
Can you hear Dylan?
No, not at all.
Dylan can't hear us either. Oh, you can hear me?
He can hear us. Yeah.
We can't hear you, Dylan.
That's why.
Oh, there we go.
Harold, come in. Harold, we need you in the Discord, please.
Yeah.
Oh man, I am so bummed. Like properly bummed.
Did you know, Wet Cats hurt you so hard in Nürburgring you decided to break your steering wheel?
Well, everybody, we've got all the people in the Discord. We're just waiting for Gerard to come and join us. Gerard, where are you, Gerard? We have dropped him a message to please come and join us. So before we do get going, thank you, Stephen, very much for the commentating. Thank you to everyone who was on the stream, sending the love. I've never seen so many hearts and flames and fires on our on our feed as we have seen this evening. So thank you very much there. I obviously want to start the conversations with Gerard, but with him not being here, let's go to you, Paul. An absolute disaster in the first race of the double headers. A plumber visit, and unfortunately not able to race, but here you go and take a second place.
Yep.
I wanted to add in a funny comment about me catching up, but it's actually not my moment. It's yours. So
No, it's cool. Race one, man. As the race starts, the guy phones and he arrives. So like, heartbreak. you know, and got to sort out the water, or the missus might just take the PlayStation away, you know. So
it's all about getting those priorities straight, right?
That's it. But yeah, Nürburgring, I knew we would be strong here. Jar calls it the Frankenstein setup. It's a very weird setup that I've made for us with this car, and as you see, it is absolutely it's awesome. I mean, I was eventually just cruising around just to finish the race. So, and I mean, Jark at one stage was like, well, constantly a second a lap quicker than me. So, yeah, no, it was insane. But yeah, awesome. Another podium finish. Project Wetcat Racing, you know, that's the way we finish off the season, to just show the guys where the dominance is.
Yes, indeed. I have to give it to you. It is going to be pretty close between the two of us. Obviously, I scored some points in the first race. This run, a little bit more of a disaster for me. So it's going to be close, but I do know that Gerard will be taking that, possibly second place ahead of Sean. Yeah. So that dropped Sean down into third, and I don't think I had scored enough points to leapfrog him there, which is such a pity. But let's go to our championship winner, Jacques. Interesting first race. Not too sure what happened there. Don't know if you got mamba fever yourself.
No, I don't know. So firstly, I mean, I was comfortable in the lead. And so I went into the pits, and so I just did a stop and go. I didn't know we had to put a liter of fuel or anything like that. And so the game kind of didn't register the pit stop, and I had to go back into the pits again. And that's when you and I met. And
well, before we get there, what it tells me is that did the car not physically jack up?
No, it jacked up, it jacked back down, and it rode off, but it just didn't count the pit stop. Yeah, so
that's very unfortunate.
Yeah, so that was exciting. And the first race, I mean, there's not much you can say there. Wet Cat Racing 1-2, finished 1-2, and a champion. One of us are champions. So, I mean, that's a good way to end the year. So. Very proud of the team. Yeah. And I just want to say thanks to all the guys that participated as well. All the sponsors, you, Dylan, and the SARCO team did an amazing job considering the bugs in ACC. So big ups to you guys. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And take the championship, wear it proudly. We don't just give these out freely. So take it with open arms.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Right, guys. Thank you very much for tuning. To all the drivers that were part of the championship, thank you so much for racing with us. To our crazy followers, thank you so much for jumping on the chat, sending through all that love. I've never seen so many hearts and fires and things. Well done, Stephen. That was absolutely
Stephen, awesome commentating, man.
Nice, Stephen.
So
Freshie was playing the commentating in the background for us. Good times.
So thank you very much, Stephen, for your participation in the commentary. Really awesome to have you. Thank you very much. To CT Auto Electrical, thank you guys so much for your support and allowing this to carry on. And then I must say a big thank you to my Moshari, because without her tolerance of my wonderful obsession, none of this would all be available. So thank you. I know she's in bed sleeping. She's definitely not watching. But yeah, thank you, everyone. Guys, all I can say is we have a special event coming this Sunday, which is the P1W BMW 1000. Yes. Get those entries in. Let's finish off Assetto Corsa strong this coming Sunday, and then Monday we round off the total season with essentially the last race, and that is in our Project Cars 2 race in the Porsche Euro Cup. And then that Thursday we'll do the championship roundup show. So don't forget to tune in for that next week Thursday. So guys, all I can say is thanks once again, Stephen, Ashley. Thank you so much for your for your support behind the scenes and making sure that the servers are up and running. I really do appreciate it. To Paul and Jacques, thanks for joining us in the commentary box.
Awesome.
Thank you
Thanks,
much. And
guys.
all I can
Cool,
say, guys,
thank you.
is until a Monday or maybe Sunday, keep racing. And thanks for
See you
watching.
on Sunday in a BMW.
I'll be commentating. I'm not racing.
That's going to be good.
Awesome.
Cheers,
Cool.
guys.
Thanks a lot. Cheers,
Bye-bye.
man.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.